the joke's on me.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your home for political play-by-play, the Owen Report, here on this Thursday, June 18th, 2026. What a day. What a day. What a week it's been. It feels like it's already been a week, by the way. We've had such a crazy news week. It feels like it's already been a week. Feels like it's already Friday today, but no, it's still Thursday. And we are witnessing such a reversal of direction, specifically when it comes to foreign policy. But that's not even really it. It's so beyond that. It's so bigger than that. It's the spirit of things. It seems like the entire direction, the attitude, even who's in control, who's influencing it. It seems like everything has shifted this week. And I'm still riding high on it. I'll tell you, I'm still riding high. I'm still in the time vortex loop. And I can't get back. I can't get back to covering normal news headlines. I can't do it because I feel this is bigger than everything. I feel it's bigger than all the headlines. Now, we do have some news today. Some news makes the final aggregation. There's some big news. So we will cover some news, but this directional shift, if there's any way to put it into perspective, aside from just bringing you more receipts today and showing you the latest developments, if there's anything that can give it some perspective, it's this. And for a lot of people, you might need to hear this even because you weren't there in the beginning. You weren't there in 2015, 2016, 2017, because this feels like 2016. This is what 2016 felt like. In fact, here's an example. People give me a hard time because I have the Drudge Report up here. It's just news, guys. It's just news aggregation. But, Drudge is going big anti-Trump with this deal today. And the headline is, World Turns Against USA. So what am I saying here? In 2016, it was us versus the establishment. It was us versus the neocons. It was us versus the lobbyists, the donor class, the establishment. And it's starting to feel like that again. Now, the difference was we thought we lost control. We thought we lost the reins entirely with the direction of the Trump administration and some of the things he was doing and saying. And some of you might not be convinced that things have changed, and that's fine too. And we're going to take more calls on this today because that's the question, right? The question is it all a bait and switch? Is it just the latest cycle on the merry-go-round, just the latest episode of Groundhog's Day? I'm just telling you, I feel like this is different. You might have the callers actually disagree. This is a point of contention with my audience, actually. A lot of people disagree with this. Maybe you're changing your mind in the last 24 hours. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. But this is what it was like. And there's so many people that either forget we already went through this in 2016, or they just weren't there and they need the understanding. But this is where we were at, guys. It was the anti-establishment right. It was the dissident right. It was the younger generational right versus the neocons, versus the boomer conservatives, versus the donor class. And we won. We took over the reins and we won. Trump was our guy. And then, a lot of stuff happened in the last 10 years. A lot of stuff. But here we are again, and it feels like we're getting back to that. The good old days. You might even say the good old days. Maybe I'm still overconfident. Maybe I am a little ahead of myself. But that's what we do here. We stay ahead of the curve. Now, we'll see, obviously, what happens, and maybe there'll be some big news tomorrow that might give us a better idea. A lot in the audience disagree with me. We'll see. We'll see. And just to be clear, too, because I see a lot, I try to keep pace with everything here. This doesn't mean that our prior issues go away. It's just, hey, it's like if you have 10 possessions in a football game and you already threw 5 interceptions, it's like, well, those possessions are already done. We can address that, but we got a new possession right now. So this feels like a new possession. It feels like we got the ball. So let's not sit here and talk about the fumbles and the interceptions right now. Let's take the ball to the end zone on this. So I get it. Hey, there's still no deep state arrests, still no mass deportations. I'm not sacrificing these points. Let's be perfectly clear. But it's like, let's not give up the momentum here. Let's not, if we are wrangling the reins right now. We are fighting the neocons for control of this ship, guys. So don't give it up. Don't give it up. That doesn't mean we don't have the same frustrations. That doesn't mean we don't have the same issues. That doesn't mean we can't go back and make the same demands and talk about campaign promises. But it's like, if we got a chance here to wrangle control of this thing from the neocons, yeah, let's get in there. Let's get in there. Let's start throwing elbows. Let's start boxing out. Let's take control of this thing. Absolutely, I'm for that. If that's the window of opportunity, if that's the current cycle we're in, then yeah, I'm not going to sit here and play spoiled potatoes. I'm going to try to take control of this thing from the neocons, and then let's see what we can do with it. But folks, they're reeling. They are reeling. That is undeniable. You can have the same issues with Trump. That's fine. The neocons are reeling. This is bigger than Trump. This is bigger than the midterms. This is bigger than the last 10 years. This is Americans wanting to take back control of their political destiny. This is Americans trying to take back control of their country and their future from the neocons, from the donor class, from the lobbyists. It's bigger than Trump. That's the moment we're in. Now, when all the dust settles on this, if Trump ends up on our side of the aisle again, I mean, that's unreal. That's unreal. And he's talking just like we've been talking, by the way. And our talking points and our narratives and our influence is starting to be felt now. It's starting to take over. It's starting to win. This is all happening. We're witnessing all of this. So how much would you have paid? To all of the people out there, I'm curious. Let's shift the perspective on this a little bit. How much would you have paid if you look back 2 years ago, let's say, and you wanted to expose your big issue was exposing the Israeli lobby, and your big issue was exposing all the Israeli loyalists operating in our media, and how this entire network's influence was felt in American politics. If that was your big issue, how can you not be happy? Mission accomplished. Now, whether Trump did it on purpose or not, you can argue that's the result. It's over. And my question would be, if you had to pay, I'm just asking. If you said, hey, we're going to end up paying $300 billion, and this isn't a perfect analogy, but we're going to pay $300 billion, and you're going to see the entire Israeli lobby get exposed, and then that's going to result in severing our current partnership with Israel, and then we'll be able to move forward independently of Israel and recalibrate all of these issues that were being sacrificed for the benefit of the Israeli lobby. How much would you have paid for that? Would you have considered that worth it? Would you have taken that offer of all the things that happened? If that's the result, would you have let it play out? I think it's a fair question. I think it's a fair question. Now, I do enjoy the pushback from the audience, and it makes me want to even just go right to the phones. I'll be quite honest with you. But let's decide. Let's decide. Let's get into some of these examples, and we'll see what we want to do as far as the phone lines. But I really do like the pushback from the audience. If you disagree, I'm getting a bit of a redundancy factor myself here. I recognize that. I know I'm trapped in like the interstellar political time vortex here. So maybe calls is a good way to go anyway. But I've got more of the receipts and I've got more of the response, and I just think it's very telling. I think it's more telling than any headline. I think it's bigger than any election, any midterm. We're talking about 10, 20, 30 years potentially here of foreign policy being decided in the next 10 days, guys. That's what we're talking about. That's the weight of everything right now. That's why I'm stuck on this story. That's why we're all looking at this. We can all feel it. And I don't even think you can properly measure what the disastrous foreign policy has done to our country for the last 30 years. Our foreign policy has been an unmitigated disaster, an economic disaster, a demographic disaster, everything. It's been a disaster. And we're talking about an opportunity here, how ironic enough, right before the 4th of July, the 250th anniversary. Right before the 4th of July, can a country make it past 250 years, the magical number? And we've got this window of opportunity to change direction of foreign policy for this country for the next 30 years. And instead of having a foreign policy that destroys our country, maybe we can have one that actually saves our country and builds our country up. That's the moment that we are in. That's what I see. That's what I feel. It's bigger than Trump. It's bigger than the midterms. And yeah, if I see that opportunity to go jockey and jostle with the neocons to take back control of this ship, whatever's going on in the White House, if I have that opportunity, damn right I'm taking it. Damn right. Bum rush the wheel. Damn right, guys. Bum rush the wheel. Bum rush the reins. The neocons are down bad. This is still our country. This is still our movement. Don't forget who you are. Don't forget why you're here. Don't forget why you supported Trump in the first place. This is our moment. I'm not laying down over spilled milk. I see a moment of opportunity. So we'll get into that. Today's show is brought to you by Silent Bags. Shop by style at slnt.com/Owen. Backpacks, concealed carry bags, crossbody, dry bags. I know I'll be taking one of their dry bags to the beach this summer. If you're going to the lake, the beach, the pool, you need a dry bag, go to slnt.com/Owen. Not only are these bags sleek, comfortable, efficient, they also have military-grade technology. Everything we carry today is broadcasting a signal. A lot of that stuff you carry in your bag. It's tracking you. It's tracing you. Your phone, your laptop. Most people don't even realize it. These devices are constantly sharing location data, identifiers, wireless handshakes with networks all around you. The signal, it can be tracked, traced, collected, intercepted, making you and your data vulnerable. That's just the reality of the world we live in. So that's why silent bags are here for you. If you don't want big tech, the government, or anyone else knowing your every move, if you want control over when you're connected and what you share, then you need to be using a Faraday bag for your phone, for your laptop, and anything else that might be sharing a signal. Now, Silent Technology, they've already gotten military contracts for these Faraday bags. That's right. The U.S. government uses this technology, and now you can use it. All kinds of different bags, by the way. Bags that you're already using. Bags that you already need. You got a backpack. You got a concealed carry. You got the fanny pack. Why not get them from the good guys with the technology that stops you from getting spied on, tracked, and traced by your phone? slnt.com/Owen. And listen to this right now. Father's Day special. With coupon code COOLDAD, get 15% off. You heard that right. And with one of their concealed carries, one of their fanny packs, you will be a cool dad. slnt.com/Owen and coupon code COOLDAD for 15% off store-wide.
Turn my phone to 1.
On the cutting cutting edge of news and analysis. The Owen Report with Owen Schroyer.
Wow. Wow. Tough crowd. Tough crowd today. You guys are not feeling the vibes, huh? You guys are not feeling the vibes today, are you? Wow. Well, that's unfortunate, but that's okay. I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you. If you think I'm wrong, keep me honest. But yeah, a lot of contention in the chat today. Not an agreement. So I mean, where do you guys? I just don't understand. What you guys are not happy? You want the war to go on? What is the problem here? I am curious. So we will open up the phone lines, but let's do this. Let's at least get through the first hour. Let me try to get through as much as I can in the first hour. And we'll do calls in the second hour. So there's a story developing about Trump and Netanyahu apparently not getting along. And I guess this is the good place to start, because my guess is the contention today with my analysis is that you guys are not buying it. You guys don't think that the Trump-Netanyahu rift is real. You don't buy that Trump is actually getting us out of the Middle East and getting us out of this war. You guys just aren't buying it. Maybe you think it's another stock market pump and dump. Maybe you think it's another bait and switch. Maybe you think that they're just playing possum right now for some other reason. These are all fair concerns. And I am curious to hear from you on them. But I think it's real. I think the rift, I think it's legitimate. The response that we're seeing, I think, is very real. I think the panic is very real. I think that you can see it really across the board here. And maybe it is too early. And this is, of course, just another cycle on this merry-go-round where it feels like we've been here before. How many times have we won the war? How many times has the war been over? How many times has there been a ceasefire? This one does feel different. I believe this one is different. Seems like a lot of you in the audience don't. But you see these headlines, and you may recall, if you go back, and I think I have the older story here too. Let's recall this. Earlier this month, Trump said, this was the story at the beginning of the month. How Trump's on a phone call with Netanyahu, telling him he's crazy, telling him he'd be in prison without Trump. We all remember that. And really, if you think about it, that seems when things kind of soured. I don't think Trump and Netanyahu have really been on the same page since that alleged phone call. Well, the latest is now that apparently Trump is telling people that Netanyahu is crazy and nobody can handle him and he just wants to bomb everybody. This is the latest grumbling. Maybe there'll be headlines about this by the end of the day or the end of the week. But now they're saying that Trump is essentially saying, yeah, Netanyahu's a complete madman. He wants to bomb the planet and nobody can handle him. Well, if this is true, I mean, come on, guys. That is Trump taking notes now? Is Trump back taking notes from the Owen Report? Is he off the Mark Levin show and on to the Win Network now? We should be happy if that's the case. It's been the case before because he's talking like us now, guys. Vance and Trump are talking like us now. It's crazy. Honestly, it's crazy. As all of this stuff is okay, we've watched a year of this MAGA rift. We've watched a year of this MAGA divide. And even though their side, the new MAGA coalition, and they keep getting smaller and smaller and smaller, they always had Trump. They always had Trump, so they kind of stood under Trump and, pointed at Trump and laughed at you and everything. Well, what if they lose Trump, guys? What if they lose Trump? What if Trump comes back to us and we have the full 2016 alignment back in order? Maybe we're dreaming. Now, what's curious is, as the peace deal gets signed at the G7, and they all applauded it, certainly that was a factor. They also ramped up their support for Ukraine, who just launched a big attack in Moscow. Now, we're going to have that later on. I want to stick on this subject right now with U.S. foreign policy. But the G7 also backed Ukraine, probably to do this latest strike in Moscow. And you wonder how they were able to pull it off. It's arguably the biggest penetration of Russia's borders that the Ukraine military has been able to pull off. They bombed a massive oil facility, one of the biggest in Russia. And they're feeling the effects. They're talking, it was hundreds of drones. So we'll look at that. So that deal is still going on. That deal is still going on. And one of the biggest attacks just happened. You don't hear much about that war anymore from the U.S. media, though, do you? You don't hear too much about what's going on between Ukraine and Russia from the U.S. media, but that was a pretty large-scale attack, arguably the biggest yet inside of Russia's borders. But we'll get back to that. I just want to look at some of this commentary and stick on what I believe is the big story, which is our opportunity to take the reins of this administration potentially, but in the larger issue, take the reins of the foreign policy of this country that could either make or break it for the next 30 years. So this is a very big moment. It's bigger than Trump, and it's very important for Americans to understand exactly what it is we're talking about here and why the foreign policy for our entire lives essentially has been such a disaster and why we must have a total reversal. But let's take a look. So we've got more of these responses. This stuff is truly wild, folks. Now, this is, I think at the end of the day, this is the big game of chicken happening right now. This is the big game of chicken. Now, I'm just going to read this post from an Israeli here. The commentary in Israel is wild, guys. It's wild. So this Yuri Kurlianchik says, Iran said Israeli operations against Hezbollah in Lebanon could topple the deal with America. What kind of deal depends on the behavior of two parties that didn't sign it? It is like Russia and Ukraine signing a treaty that depends on peace in former Yugoslavia. Absurd. So, this is a fair observation. It is not a unfair observation here. So who's making the bet? Who's making the bet in this game of chicken? Trump is betting that Israel will not continue this war without America. That seems to be the bet that Trump is making. Iran is betting that if Israel does continue to strike, that America will not get involved. That seems to be the bet that Iran is making. So now the question becomes, what bet is Israel going to make? Is Israel going to be forced to check Is Israel going to be forced to fold? Or is Israel going to decide to strike anyway and make the bet that they think America will come to their aid? Or maybe they think they can handle these wars without America's aid. This seems to be the bets. These seem to be the gambles the three parties are making. Trump is betting Israel won't do the war without him. Iran is betting America will not get involved in the war after this deal. And now the chips are looking at Israel, the pot's looking at Israel and saying, what's your play? What's your play? You going to fold? Or is Israel going to bet, you know what, we're going to strike anyway, and we think America is going to join us? Seems that that's where the current stakes are. These are the bets that are being made by the three parties involved. And I guess we'll find out. I guess we might find out. We might find out all of this in the coming weeks. And you feel like there's really no going back after this. It's like if this deal doesn't work, there's no going back. There's no going back to the drawing board. There's no going back to the negotiating table. This is it. Chips are down. Everyone's out. Everyone's all in. This is it. What are we doing? And now, depending on what Israel's next play is, we'll see how the pot shakes out. And considering that, that's why I'm sitting here saying, guys, put the issues aside right now and let's try to grab control of this as much as we can. Let's try to get a hand on the wheel here because there's a window of opportunity to do it. So I get the grievances, I get the issues, I get all of that. But we've got an opportunity, guys, to get a finger or a hand on the wheel of this ship right now. Let's not spoil it. Let's not look back and reflect on the past and forget that there's still a future here. We've got an opportunity. And depending on what move Israel makes, whether we have a fingertip or a hand or an arm on the wheel of this ship could be the determining factor about what America does, what Trump does in response to Israel's play. And I don't want to see it go wrong. We have an opportunity. I believe that. So I'll tell you what. Let's do this. Instead, I'm gonna go to calls now because the rest of the stuff I have here is reactionary stuff. The rest of the stuff I have here is hilarious Mark Levin reactions, Ben Shapiro reactions. I've got a bunch of stuff from Israel and Israelis reacting to this. Some other swamp creatures like Mike Pompeo reacting to this. You've got some of these newer Trump loyalists like, what is the guy's name? I debated him once. Hold on, let me pull this up. Oh, yeah. Misfit Patriot. So now Misfit Patriot is supporting Trump through this deal, and he's getting attacked. He's getting attacked by all the Israeli loyalists. And he's like, what are you guys doing? I thought we supported Trump. He's like, why are you attacking me? I thought we were trusting Trump. What are you doing? Why are you pushing me away? I'm sitting here like, I told you, bro. I mean, guys, how many times have I sat here and warned that as soon as the foreign policy goes a different way, they will abandon you? I warned Trump. How many times did I sit here and warn? 20 times, 30 times? This is actually crazy, guys. All right, let's open up the phones. What do you guys think is going on with the chat with all these haters today? This is the most haters we've ever seen in a chat, and it's really early in the show. We're really early in the show today, so usually, it takes a while for the haters to all join in here. What is with all of the haters in the chat so early? I hope they call in. You tell me how I'm wrong. Hey, I get it. Believe me, guys, I get it. We're in Groundhog Day. We're in the edge of tomorrow. I'm telling you, I think this is different. I'm explaining why I think this is different. I'm explaining why I feel it's imperative that we support Trump with this deal and try to get back control of this ship right now, because it's bigger than Trump. It's about the future of this country. That's how we need to look at this. But I'm curious why people disagree. I'm curious why people aren't buying it. And if you just think it's another scam, another bait and switch, another pump and dump for the stock market, yeah, well, maybe that's fair. But I'd like to hear from you. Seems to be an unorthodox amount of hate in the chat today, guys, doesn't there? Do we recognize these people? Are these normies in here? What do we have going on? What in the hell do we have going on in there? Very curious. Okay. Phone line is open, 747-255-60. I'll get back into the news. I'll get back into the responses, but the chat has me so curious today. The phone calls have been so good lately. I'm stuck in the interstellar, time vortex anyway. Maybe I need to communicate with you. Maybe somebody needs to communicate with me here, trapped in this vortex. All right. What do we have here? There we go. Okay. Phone lines are open. Remember, guys, when you hear my voice, you are on the air. I just ask you your name and where you're from. But when you hear my voice, you are on the air. So here we go. First caller of the day. What's your name? Where are you from?
Chris, New York.
All right. Oh, Chris in New York. Were you at the Knickerbocker parade today?
I was not, but kind of glad I wasn't there, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you know what? I saw some of the antics. Yeah, I don't think I need to see a 400-pound fat-ass woman shaking her butt on top of a light post. So I think I'm okay on that.
Yeah, I'm with you. Just want to say great job. Love the optimism. Just I wouldn't let your guard down. We've been fooled multiple times, and I just don't think we should fall for it again.
Totally fair. And that's not to say that if this thing takes a different path than I'm anticipating, that I'm not going to call that out, obviously. I just feel this is different. I don't know. Maybe I'm just suffering from some hopium right now. Maybe it's like the summer vibes are taking over or something. I don't know, but it just feels different. The spirit of it feels different this time.
Agree, and I hope you're right. But this also kind of rings a little bit of a last-ditch effort to save the grip on power, because I think if they continue down this road, it would be over for all of them.
Yeah, well, you know what? This is actually what's so important about this. And again, this is why I'm urging people, like, guys, don't get caught up in the past right now. We've got our issues. We've got our grievances. This is about the future. And I believe we have an opportunity to maybe have a little influence on this deal now. But as you're saying, to go into a little bit of detail, the amount of money, I said this the other day, the foreign policy, or more specifically, this war, or the whole entire context of it, hundreds of billions, if not trillions of dollars has been spent to get this war. I mean, let's just call it what it is. I mean, all things considered, we're talking about probably trillions of dollars have been spent to get this war. They're not just going to let us not have it. They're gonna do whatever people that spend trillions of dollars do to get a war going. They're gonna do whatever they have to do. And so that's why we're all kind of on the edge of our seat right now thinking, all right, what's going to happen next? And I've got Mark Levin going on here talking about how Israel has nukes, like he's threatening the country now. I mean, it's getting wild.
Yeah.
All right, well
thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, thank you for calling. I'm sorry you didn't get to make it down. I was seeing some highlights. They were showing some of it. There was an they did a Obama library dedication ceremony today. It was actually hilarious. It was pretty funny. Obama was rather reserved. Him and Michelle were grinding at one point. I'm like, dude, we are totally back in the 2000s. How many of you used to go to mixers? We call them mixers, dances. How many of you used to go grind? They were grinding. Michelle and Barack Obama are grinding at the Obama Library dedication today. And then they had a bunch of celebrities and musical performances. I mean, the whole thing was actually quite hilarious. Biden was there spazzing, like he had no idea. At the end of it, George Bush just shows up wandering around the stage. Like literally, he just out of nowhere, George Bush is on the stage wandering around. And then I saw the highlights from the New York Knicks parade. It was a bunch of people climbing on poles and bus stops and, you know, shaking their butts. And I'm just, oh my gosh. What a day. All right. Next caller. What's your name? Where are you from?
Hey, Nick from California.
All right, Nick, go ahead.
Hey, I just wanted to start off by saying, love your show, and I don't always agree 100% with everybody I listen to, and I don't expect to. You know, we all should disagree sometimes. It's healthy. And I think you're not wrong, but it is a little early to give Trump the benefit of the doubt. We should see what happens. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. And I agree. I see that a lot of it in my comments lately too, which is good. It's like, what is this weird mindset that you think you have to agree with everybody all the time? I mean, you might have issues or you know, maybe some issues you consider bigger or more critical, and you say, well, I think you need to be aligned on this, or I look at you kind of funny. We don't exist in a cult. I don't want to exist in a cult. I don't want everybody to see things and look at the world the exact same way. We need a little diversity of thought here. It's okay. A little diversity of opinion, a little pushback on one another. That's healthy. That's good. So, yeah, I don't mind disagreement and debate. I actually like it. I lean into it, not intentionally. Like, I'm not just saying the things I'm saying today to get the debate. But no, it should. You don't have to agree with everything I say here. And you're welcome to express your opinion. That's good. That's good classical political discourse. It's healthy. Let's take another call. What's your name? Where are you from?
I'm Paul, and I'm from New York.
Okay, Paul, go ahead.
I thought it was awfully interesting seeing J.D. Vance come out as strongly as he has against Israel, and I feel like he's almost prepping himself for his eventual presidential campaign, trying to get the younger crowd who is inherently anti-Israel and anti-Zionist. And I just really question the honesty behind that, if he's genuine in his statement, or if that is in fact disingenuous, like J.D. Vance seems to be.
Okay.
So that's just my
yeah.
that's kind of my take, and I thought that was an awfully he was very strongly worded. So I just thought that was awfully interesting.
I do have some J.D. Vance clips today, so we'll play some of those clips. So if I'm going to be the skeptic, I guess I would kind of lean the direction that you were alluding to, and I would say, yeah, this is them posturing Vance against the foreign lobby for 2028. This is them kind of framing Vance a little early, a little ahead of schedule, perhaps, as the anti-establishment right kind of guy, and kind of leaning into that. Maybe it's too early. Maybe it's too early to know or to make a decision on that. But I think that that's a fair concern, because you can't doubt the things that he's saying are way more in tune with where we're at, let's say, or original MAGA versus new neocon MAGA. That is just a fact. Whether you think it's all a ploy or not, that is the reality of these comments. And then you can see the foreign lobby freaking out. Now, I would kind of go back to my original concession, which is Vance is the big tech guy. And when you study big tech's political influence, they really don't care left or right. Maybe some of these guys are more liberal, maybe they are more lefty than righty, let's say, politically, but that's not really what they care about. They just all want to be billionaires. They just all want, have a fleet of yachts. So if working with Trump is the way to do it, they'll work with Trump. If working with Obama is the way to do it, they'll work with Obama. And I think that they've realized, I think the big tech people have realized their business model is kind of at the end of the day about stopping wars. So so basically, JD Vance represents the new big tech industrial complex, which wants to take over the planet with AI. But they're going to have AI government, AI surveillance. Everybody's going to be safe. We're going to end wars, but then they'll have their system running the whole planet. So I don't really think they like war per se. Now they don't mind it happening in the modern context because they can still get defense contracts. But at the end of the day, they have something totally different envisioned. So what Rubio represents is the military industrial complex and the foreign lobby. They love the wars. They need the wars. They want the wars going on forever. And so that's why you see all of them pushing Rubio right now. And that's why you see Vance going the different direction, I believe. So I think at the end of the day, Vance is always probably going to be the big tech guy. However they end up posturing him to get in, I think that remains true. Now, he could mean what he's saying as far as the foreign policy issues are concerned, but we still have to keep our eye on the big tech industrial complex angle. But that's kind of how I look at it. Rubio's going to be the military industrial complex trying to keep control of D.C. Vance is going to be the big tech industrial complex, which is ready to move through the age of these constant wars into the AI surveillance stage, where their selling point, their profit point is peace and safety. It's like the military industrial complex is war and death. That's how they get rich. Ultimately, the big tech industrial complex, they're going to sell peace and safety with their AI surveillance system. So I kind of see that's how it's going to break down. I would advise they need to, if they really want to get Vance in, and I don't know how much they're thinking about this, they should probably wait till 2032. But if things start to go differently now, Vance could maybe be more electable than we had thought anybody from the Trump administration would be just a couple months ago. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. But we do have a couple of Vance clips today, what the caller was alluding to. Next caller, what's your name? Where you're from?
It's Mago Von Villain again from Texas with a super chat that I wasn't allowed to send.
Yeah, Mego, we've got a bad connection. Are you on a speaker?
No, I'm not on the speaker. Is that better?
All right, a little bit. Go ahead.
Okay, so I was saying it's in reference to Mark Levin that only an insecure, sociopathic, murderous bridge troll with a tiny peepee would passive-aggressively threaten nukes.
Did you hear that one
and
yet?
That's for Mark Levin.
Yeah. Did you hear the Levin segment yet on that?
Oh, I did. And I went, oh my God, that asshat just threatened nukes. Like, see, I don't understand. These people are traitors.
How else? You know what? Hey, you want to know something crazy? Because aside from, I don't know how you interpret that any differently. So we both interpret that the same way, okay? But there's actually,
we live in the South.
But there's something. But there's something beyond that. There's something beyond that most people are not putting together. Except actually one individual who's a Trump advisor. We'll show later. You might be able to guess who it is.
I actually read that.
How is it that Mark Levin has such high-level intelligence? How is it that Mark Levin has such secret information and such high-level intelligence about a foreign country's policies and capabilities? How might that be, Mego?
You know what? My working theory here is that unfortunately, and I'm, sorry, Jewish people, sorry, Israelis, but unfortunately, I don't think any Israeli can serve in any aspect of our government whatsoever because they're all double agents. Every single last freaking one of them. Every single one. Every single one. They are here for Israel and Israel alone, and that's sad.
But hasn't that been proven beyond a reasonable doubt? I mean, isn't that the moment that we're in? And that's why I'm sitting here, as I say, unable to really do a normal news show or cover normal news, because I'm stuck in the interstellar, foreign policy vortex here, and we're just watching all of this happen. It's like we're not even in control. They're doing it themselves.
Well, even people like Tom Cotton, how is that not treason? How, like, as citizens of the United States, like, how do we get these people locked up for freaking treason? I mean, the founding fathers told us that if the government becomes corrupt, we have the right to overthrow said government and install a new one. How do we go about doing that is what I kind of mull over. Like, they don't tell us how to do it, right? I guess it's kind of assumed how to do it. But I don't think any Israeli can serve in any aspect of our government. And if we don't become like really honest about these things, because, you know, nobody would be upset if they're like, no, you're a dual citizen to China, you can't serve in the government. You know, everybody would be like, yeah. But if you say it's Israel, they're like, you anti-Semite racist piece of shit. You know, so our country's going to die on the altar of DEI, of inclusivity. We're afraid to be quote unquote anti-Semites, and you're just going to sell your country out because you're afraid of being called that.
Well, this is all being revealed, and that's what's so insane about it. You know, I said this the other day. I mean, the odds of Q being real have gone from like 1% to like maybe they've like doubled now. They're like 2%, maybe even tripled 3%, because it's like if somebody said, I'm going to try to expose the Israeli lobby and the Israeli influence. They say, okay, how are you going to do that? And they say, well, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. And say, okay, well, you know, you're going to be censored, you're going to be banned, you're going to be demonized, you're going to be called all these names. It's not going to work. And then you see how that plays out. So it's like, no, I'm going to give Israel everything they want and more. I mean, I'm going to do more than just turn the other cheek. I mean, I won't even make a grotesque reference, but, you know, you can take a guess. It's like, I'm going to go so far above and beyond for Israel. I'm going to give up all my political capital. I'm going to destroy my base, you know, blood and treasure again. Like, I'm going to give them everything. And then there's going to be that moment where I say, sorry, there's no more to give. And you're going to sit here and watch all of them turn their back on you. And you're going to sit here and watch all of them pretend like you owe them something. You're going to watch all of them threaten you, because that's exactly what we've just witnessed. Intentionally or unintentionally, that is exactly what Donald Trump has done. It is undeniable. And it could potentially change the future of foreign policy in this country for the next 3 to 4 decades. That's how big it is. So, again, is it intentional? Is it not? What's going to happen next? That is the result. Everybody has watched, to a degree that we have never witnessed before. Everybody is watching Israeli loyalists in media and in politics expose themselves to such an unreal degree. It's not just undeniable, it's extremely concerning. And then you see the actual people on the other side of the planet who have benefited from our graciousness, who have benefited from our aid. The minute we say we can't right now, we see how they get the knives out for us. We see how they start to threaten us like we're the bad guy after everything we've done. And now everybody gets to see it. Fully organic at their own hand. And it could change the course of this country. And that's exactly what everybody's been trying to do. But now they've done it. They've done it. They have done it themselves. And Trump, wittingly or unwittingly, forced them to do it. That is what has happened. Next caller, what is your name? Where are you from?
Oh, and Don from Orange County, man.
All right, Don. Well, 24 hours later, Don.
I will keep it family friendly. Okay. I did crash and burn yesterday, but who else can you count on to do that like me? You know, I've been with you for a while now, so I just want to point something out about what you're saying. You know, look at our food. Okay, back when I was a kid, food wasn't toxic. It wasn't poison. It was owned by a lot of the companies that, you know, were grassroots that started out and opened a business, and then when they got big, the Zionists bought up all these companies, and now they're all Zionist owned. Well, guess what? It's not a mistake and it's not an accident why our food is poisoned and their diet's kosher. They get to eat the good stuff while we slaves are expendable, and they created this mill, this human mill in our system where we get sick and they own everything, dude. They own our country. We're co-opted in the worst way. You know, they get us coming in and they get us coming out. These are the things that, as a president, Donald Trump was running on all these things to change everything. And he didn't change not one thing. Not one. I mean, didn't even try. And he was so easily ushered right on in to the same old crap, the same old narrative, the same old, and it's like, here's where I'm at with this. If they got something on you, Trump, you know what? We'll all respect you even way more if you come right out with it and just be honest what they have over you and own it and say you're sorry, and then just turn your back on them and just say, well,
I agree with that. I think most people would agree with that, by the way, if that was the situation.
Yeah, I'm like, what do they have on this guy? It's not just him. What do they have on everybody?
But Don, let me pause you for a second, Don. Let me pause you for a second.
Okay.
Because you were talking about, you were putting this through the lens of Trump and, you know, saving the country and getting things turned around. And I want to do this exercise. Let's just remove Trump from the equation. I was at the gym earlier today. I was talking to an older guy, and we were talking about this exact thing. We were talking about the food and the diet and all the stuff they put in the food and the water, how crazy it is. Who's having this conversation at the gym 10 years ago? Like, this is mainstream talk. It doesn't matter what side of the political aisle you're on. And now you can get into the politics. So, okay, so there is a organic, just we the people, health awareness happening. There is an organic health revolution happening in this country. It's slowly starting to get into the market as far as options are concerned. Okay, same thing is happening politically. More people are looking at the foreign interests, the foreign lobbyists, the foreign policy. They're understanding the issues that we're facing a lot better. So, you know, remove Trump from the equation, whatever you think about him, whatever you don't. The American people have come a long way as far as our political awareness and understanding is concerned. That is undeniable, whether you want to connect that to Trump or not. Everybody can kind of grasp that is what's happening right now. And so at the end of the day, we still have to celebrate that. We still have to celebrate that we, the people, we have a heightened sense of awareness. We have a heightened sense of understanding. We're starting to see, hey, where are the leaks in this ship? You know, where are the biggest holes in this ship? What do we need to repair? What direction do we need to be going? So just, you know, sometimes you got to just forget about Trump. Just get Trump out of the mind and just say, hey, you know what? We're doing a good job. Americans are still good people, and we're doing a good job. And if there's a will to save this country from the people, there will be a way.
Well, I see what you're saying. You know, it's as simple as everything starts at home. Okay, but in terms of as far as, okay, the laws in this country, okay, are we not, okay, either we are or we are not going to enforce the laws. If you're going to enforce laws upon me, and then you're going to turn around and you all the political forum, the buddies, and they're going to just, they're on a different level, then don't come at me with the laws of our land. If it's not going to be what it is, how can I teach my son or anybody's kids? How can you explain to them, hey, you know, the law of this and law of that in this country, but then our own leaders? But see, what I'm getting back to is these leaders aren't ours anymore. They are owned. The leaders are owned by the Zionists. They bought and paid for every single one of them. So our country is being led by a bunch of they're terrorists. They're economical terrorists, legal terrorists, financial terrorists. They are terrorists to our nation. They hate us. We are the only country. Now, research this. We are the only country in the world that their food is the way it is. And there's a reason for that. Because we are financially, America, our country, we're strong. We have a Second Amendment. We believe in Americana and everything. Well, they're making us pay a price for that. I'll say, oh, well, okay, you can believe in that, but we're gonna kill you with the food. I can go to Mexico in Tijuana. I can take a Coca-Cola from here and go there, and the ingredients to a Coca-Cola over there is going to be sugar, carbonated water, and maybe a caramel flavor or whatever the hell. That's in Coca-Cola. Look at the Coca-Cola that's in there. You could clean your toilet with that stuff.
You know what's
And
ironic
people,
too? So we talk about, Americans go to Europe and they taste the food, higher quality food, most places over there. You even talk about in Mexico. All the Europeans are coming here for the World Cup. They're celebrating our goy slop. Have you seen this?
Yeah.
They love our goy slop. We have the best goy slop, Don.
Well, if you want to go there, then hey, we got to take pride in that, I guess. But
the best,
all I'm saying,
the most high quality goy slop that there is on planet Earth is right here. The Europeans agree.
Yeah, but don't you think? The gaslighting ain't hitting like it used to. They can't do that to us anymore because of Trump. Because in 2016, he was my guy and your guy and everybody else's guy, because he was coming right in, and like I did yesterday, the crash out that I had, his whole campaign of 2015 was a crash out, and he was telling everybody what we needed to hear, and it kind of was reminiscent of Obama when he first ran. And I voted for Obama his first term because I was like, this guy gets it.
Well, here, let me ask you this. Let me try to encapsulate all this with a question, or maybe two questions, a question and a follow-up. If we have an attack on this country and they blame Iran, will you believe it?
No.
Okay. If I would have asked you that same question, say 10 years ago, would you have believed it then?
Maybe no, I wouldn't have believed that Iran did it, but see, it wouldn't have been so matter of fact like now. But see, we're more informed.
Yeah.
But I always knew Israel had something to do with 9/11. I always knew Israel had something to do with JFK. I always knew Israel had something to do with the assassination attempt of Reagan. See, the thing is, when you look at it from I'll use an Alexism, from a 10,000-foot level, when you see it for what it is, you got to recognize who we're being attacked by. Okay? They did a magnificent job of lulling everybody to sleep. But isn't that what the empire does? They give you circus and food. They entertain you, they distract you, and they keep you fed or whatever.
And man, it's been high quality. The bread and circus has been very high quality since the start of June. We are getting some of the most high quality bread and circus we've ever seen.
Oh, totally. That's what that UFC fight was for. And I saw in Trump, and I don't know, you go back and look at the beginning when Trump and Dana walk out. Look at Trump's face. The first thing I said to my sister, I go, he's thick. I go, there's kidney problems. He's going to get kidney failure.
Well, you know what? You bring that up, and we're talking about Vance, Don, and I thank you for the call. Here's a wild conspiracy theory, and I'm not even saying I believe this, but I'm just looking at all the different options. You mentioned, I think Trump is just tired. I think he's probably just tired. I mean, he is 80 years old. I'm sure he does have some health issues, minor or not. Here's a wild one. What if they're actually getting ready to give Vance the presidency? What if Trump is saying, all right, I got one last thing to do here. I'm going to go out with a bang. I'm going to get some things done. And then that's it. I'm going to hand it over to Vance. That's probably a very low chance, but I don't know. I have to wonder. I do have to wonder, because it's wearing on the guy, guys. I mean, you can tell Trump, it's starting to catch up. He's back at it again today. He's having a Medal of Honor ceremony right now at the White House. He's speaking. He's an 80-year-old man. He just did like a week long of not sleeping. I don't know if he wants to do it for another 2 years. I don't know if he even can do it, quite frankly. You know, it is funny on that note, though, and we're going to take our first break. So you had the Obama library dedication, and you had two presidential hopefuls, potentially, from the Democrat side that were there. you had Kamala Harris and you had Gavin Newsom, and you just look at Kamala in the crowd, and it's just like it's a nothing. She has no aura. Nobody's really interested. She just kind of blends in. What an unserious campaign that was, honestly. What an unserious campaign it was for Harris. And this idea that they're floating around like she's going to run again and she could get the nomination. Give me a break. Anybody who falls for another Kamala Harris grift. But then there was Newsom. And the cameras couldn't get enough. The cameras couldn't get enough of Newsom. And all the Democrats that were there were running up to Newsom, and they wanted a photo op and to shake his hand and to touch his greased, slick back hair. They couldn't get enough in the aviators. And then there was Biden, dazed and confused, as always.
You're listening to the Owen Report on the Win Network.
It's America's home for political play-by-play. It's the Owen Report with Owen Schroyer.
Okay, let's actually get back to the scheduled content for today. I think we're gonna go back to the phone lines. Phone lines are good, and somehow the haters aren't getting in. What is up with that? They're always too chicken to call in. It's always been the case. They talk a big game. They love typing. They love working up their fingers into a storm on the chat and on X. And you say, hey, let's have a talk. And all of a sudden, they're gone. Just whoosh, disappearing act. We'll go back. We'll give you guys an opportunity on the phone lines. We'll get it back there. But I want to look at some of these responses. Okay, Ben Shapiro. This is unbelievable. Oh my gosh, guys. It's unreal. What a beautiful thing. Ben Shapiro promises endless war with Iran if President Trump's MOU is signed, meaning Israel first is ready to make revoking or ignoring an MOU a key promise they expect from any GOP candidate running for president in 2028 and beyond. Well, that's always been the case of the AIPAC Adelson money. Well, I guess really they don't care. They donate to Democrats and Republicans. But that's always been the demand of the right wing is that, no, you will always be pro-Israel. And even if that means putting Israel first, that's been the demand. And you can see them trying to assert that now as they're losing grip. But this is like
JD Vance,
this is like the ultimate reveal. So you've got Shapiro attacking Vance. They're all attacking Vance, and they're all admitting. They're all now admitting it. How is this even real, guys? I'm sorry. How is this even real? That the Shapiros of the world are coming out and announcing it. Yes, we are the reason why you have forever wars. This is unbelievable. How are you not enjoying this show? How are you not getting the hopium here? Again, this isn't about Trump, guys. Don't get sucked into the Trump vortex. Not everything is about Trump, guys. There are things that happen that have nothing to do with Trump. They're all exposing themselves. Here's Ben Shapiro saying, we want forever wars. I'm on air because I'm here for Israel's interest. I mean, it's all happening. They're all revealing themselves, guys. This is beautiful. Here's a question. Will Ben Shapiro even have any audience in 10 years? Any in America? He's attacking Vance. He's threatening that this will force another forever war. Well, not for us. We just signed a peace deal. So who are you talking about, Ben? Who's we in this equation, Ben? We're going to have another forever war.
JD Vance appears on Megyn Kelly's podcast. Remember, as we'll get to,
here comes cancel culture. Here comes the cancel culture from Ben Shapiro, original Never Trumper Ben Shapiro. Here comes the cancel culture. Foreign loyalist, foreign influencer Ben Shapiro. Here comes the cancel culture. You can't go on that show, JD Vance.
Megyn Kelly is a person who has said that the Israelis manipulated the administration into war, who has laughed along.
Yeah, Trump has said that too.
To the proposition that the Republican Party is a bunch of Israel-loving pedophiles. This is where the vice president chose to retail the argument. So,
oh my gosh. How are you not enjoying this? That's a quote from Ben Shapiro. Megyn Kelly thinks the Republicans are a bunch of pedophile-loving Israeli loyalists. Ben Shapiro, June 17th, 2026. Guys, how are you not enjoying this?
the vice president says that actually the only reason that people would oppose the deal is because they want endless conflict. Well, let's hear what he has to say.
I'm struggling with that one, Ben? Struggling to deny that one? Struggling to deny that one, Ben?
I think that fundamentally, if you look at what they're proposing an endless conflict. They want this to go on until every bomb has been dropped or until every Iranian is dead. That is not what the President of the United States wants. What he said is, I said about this to end their nuclear program, to eliminate their ability to threaten their neighbors and project power, and to fundamentally make sure that no future child would have to deal with a terrorist regime with an atomic bomb. That's why the president set out to do this. He feels, and he's right, that he's accomplished that goal, and now we can get to the negotiation to see what are the other benefits that we can get from this, and frankly, what are the benefits the Iranians could get from this if they behave. I just don't think that people who are criticizing this, one, they're not actually dealing with the reality of what's in it, and number two, they don't have an alternative. If your alternative is just to drop bombs without any clear goal or any clear American interest implicated, then you're not making wise decisions on behalf of the American people.
Now, by the way, Trump has said similar things about Israel. How they just want the war. They just want everyone dead. He said it at the G7. He said it at a press conference. He's apparently saying it behind the scenes after phone calls with Netanyahu. So it's not just J.D. Vance saying this. Now, again, I'm not telling you to trust any of this. If you think it's all an act, if you're not buying any of it, I totally understand that. Totally get it. Reasonable assumption or conclusion based off of evidence and prior developments. So I believe this. I believe it's different. I believe this is going in our direction now. You can disagree. We shall see. But imagine, guys, this is where you're at right now. And if you're somebody like me, maybe more of my politics maybe are on the right. I don't know. Who knows anymore? Left, right. It's like, can we just save the damn country? Can we just get back to America maybe? So imagine here, your goal is to expose the Israeli loyalists and the Israeli influence and its effect on our foreign policy here, and you say, okay, I'm going to send J.D. Vance to do a media tour, which Vance is in the middle of this media tour right now. He did The View, he did Megyn Kelly, he did some other shows. You say, my goal is to expose the Israeli lobby for who they are and what they are. So I'm going to send J.D. Vance on a media tour, and all J.D. has to do is talk about how he wants peace. All J.D. has to do is talk about how we're sick of the death and destruction, and then let's see who responds. Let's see who shrieks in horror. Let's see who shrieks in horror at the idea of peace. And now you get to see it's Ben Shapiro.
Well, an entire field of straw men is now burning because this is what we colloquially call a lie. This is a lie. An endless conflict would be, say, a 47-year conflict with an intransigent, radical Islamist enemy that wants to destroy America. Some of us have been calling for the president.
There it is. This is it, guys. This is the big reveal. There's no going back. And they might do it. They might try a false flag. They might do a radical Islamic terror attack and to try to save face on this. But it's over. It's over, guys. It's done. Everybody sees it now. You can't put the cat back in the bag. And this is their moment. This is their final mask-off moment. The reason that the United States of America has been at war for most of our entire lives is because of the Israeli lobby buying our government, buying our foreign policy, and putting people like Ben Shapiro in the U.S. media to keep us attached to this as if it's beneficial to us when it's really just beneficial to Israel. This is it. This is the final chapter, guys. This is the final act. I don't know where it goes from here, but it's over now. I mean, this is the final conclusion, guys.
To end this war quickly, like from the beginning. I've been saying for literally months that instead of signing on to a useless ceasefire, that we ought to take or bomb Kharg Island, open the straits with operations like Project Freedom with the president.
There it is. I demand war for Israel. I demand boots on the ground for Israel. I want more war. I want Kharg Island. I want bombs. I want money. Yeah, we know, Ben. We know. Thank you for your honesty, finally. You know, it's nice that we can finally see you for what you are, the entire country now.
Which the president announced and then unannounced, and then leave Overwatch to our allies like Israel and the UAE. That is not an endless war. You know what an endless war looks like? It looks like a bad deal. You know how?
So let me hear this straight, Ben. Use American blood and treasure to give all the Middle East resources and power to Israel. Oh, I see. That's how you want it to go. Here's an idea. How about we just cut Israel out of the deal altogether and America just takes all of that? How about that? Maybe that's the deal that's going to get done with Iran, and we can just cut you guys out. Because it seems all you guys bring to the table is death and destruction. And you know what? That's not very popular right now.
I know that because Barack Obama did it, and that war didn't end. And now J.D. Vance is pushing one, and the war ain't ended. You want to make sure that you have an endless war? An endless war looks like pouring hundreds of billions of dollars in unfrozen funds into a terror-supporting and nuclear weapon-seeking sworn enemy.
Look at this outright liar. Look at this despicable rat. You want to know what an endless war is, Ben? It's an endless war. That's what it is. An endless war is an endless war. And that's all Israel's been doing, and that's all they've been dragging us into, and we're all sick of it. An endless war isn't an endless war. An endless war is when you do a bunch of money and you have the Iran and the mullahs and the Nazi, neo-Nazi fascists and the you need to give them more money and we need to deal and we need to give it all to Israel and we need to take Kharg Island. We need more war to end the war. We need more war. War is peace. I am Ben Shapiro. War is peace. Did you see my hat? Unbelievable. So Ben Shapiro is calling for more war. Would you be shocked to learn Mark Levin is as well? Time for a change in strategy. We should consider slow walking the enemy, building up our munitions, our oil reserves, get the price of gasoline down. Actually, wait, Mark, we did all of that. And then people like you spent it all on Israeli interests. Yeah. We built up our oil reserves. We were building them up again. We were building up our munitions, building up our military again. We had the price of gas down, and then you guys got us back into the Middle East, Mark. And the price of gas went up, and our oil reserves were drained, and now we're out of munitions. You dirty, rotten, stinking rat. So it's actually nice that Trump is putting America first now, and maybe we can build up our munitions, our oil reserves, and get the price of gas down again now that we're ignoring people like you and not putting the interest of Israel first. So, but Mark wants to get back to the war. He says, hey, let's just stop for the midterms and then get back to the war. Hey, are you trying to sabotage a peace deal? Mark, are you trying to sabotage a peace deal? Mark Levin? Why would Mark Levin, who apparently is part of the Trump administration, why would Mark Levin be trying to sabotage a peace deal? That sounds like traitorous activity. That's like borderline treason. Why would Mark Levin be trying to sabotage a peace deal for foreign interests? That's weird. By the way, Ben and Mark both doing the rounds on Fox News to attack J.D. Vance and attack President Trump for this deal. Isn't that amazing? Both of them end up on, Fox News pieces and trashing Trump and trashing Vance for doing this peace deal. It's amazing how that happens. And and now they want to cancel, they want to cancel J.D. Vance. They want to cancel anybody that talks to Megyn Kelly or Tucker Carlson. There's that cancel culture. There's that woke right cancel culture. Oh, where's MAGA calling them out, by the way? Where's MAGA? We called out woke on the left. We called out cancel culture on the left. Where's MAGA calling it out when it's Ben Shapiro and Mark Levin engaging in it? Just curious. Just looking for some consistency here. Not getting it. Oh, but Levin goes on his radio show. I mean, this guy is going to end up in a rubber room or maybe a cell of some sorts. Mark Levin is arguing that he is more in touch with the American people than anyone else. This is a hilarious proposal.
I would just advise those who are in Washington and in a bubble, who go to mostly friendly media, that this is not set well with
What does that even mean? Goes mostly to friendly media. Who are you talking about, Mark? I'd love to hear one example. The people in the DC bubble that mostly go to friendly media. Now, I talk about the political bubble all the time. And this is why so many people in DC are out of touch. He's like taking the inversion of this. And he thinks he's the one that understands the American people. He thinks he's in touch. This is outrageous irony.
many patriotic Americans, many Republicans, many conservatives, many people in MAGA, and diehard Trump supporters. It hasn't settled well.
Oh.
I have better access to the public view than most people do.
Really?
And I can tell from the past several weeks.
Mark Levin, whose entire shtick is how he hides in a bunker. Mark Levin, whose entire shtick is that he's like a naked mole rat who never leaves his undisclosed building. He says, what does he say? He's in a discreet, undisclosed bunker. The naked mole rat of political talk radio, Mark Levin. The screeching naked mole rat whose entire shtick is how he hides from the world because, you know, he's hiding in a bunker. But now he's claiming he has more access to the public. He has more in touch with the public than anybody else from his discreet, undisclosed, naked mole rat bunker.
It's victory that you wanted. And when I've been briefed, I've been told basically that we can't achieve it for 4,000 different reasons. You know, we've had very difficult wars with very difficult enemies.
Who's we?
Different kinds of wars. And there have always been ways to win them.
Who's we, Mark? Just curious. Who's the we?
The victory. So we can't have woke right types going on and on against forever wars, and yet so many.
Woke right. So here he's calling for censorship. They're calling for canceling J.D. Vance. They're calling for censorship. And then he's going to say but he's not woke. He is engaging in all the tactics and practices of being woke, and then saying he's not woke.
Many of them are responsible for them. I don't want a forever war. Iran wants a forever war. I feel it's time to end this once and for all.
That's ironic, Mark, because Iran just signed a ceasefire deal and a peace deal with us. So Iran doesn't want a forever war, actually. It seems there's only one country that wants a forever war, Mark, and there's only one group of people that wants a forever war, Mark. And you seem to represent both of those entities. Actually, Mark. And now everybody can see it. Now everybody can see it. And it's a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful reveal. It is a beautiful mask-off moment. But that's not it for Levin. After Levin was engaging in cancel culture and calling for censorship in his woke right mind and spazzing out because he can't get a forever war, he went on. And it sounds like this is a threat. Is Mark Levin threatening the United States? Or who is Mark Levin threatening here when he talks about secret weapons that Israel has? And how would someone like Mark Levin, he's just an American citizen, right? I mean, he's just your normal everyday radio, he's just your normal everyday radio talk shows. He's out there in the public. He's pretending he's a man of the people. He's out in the social scene. He's got access to the people. He's just a normal guy. He's just a normal American like you. But somehow he has top-level secret access to Israel intelligence and military operations? How is that, Mark? Mark, how do you have such intelligence? How do you have such access, Mark? If you're just a normal American, you're just an everyday American, Mark. How did you get such high-level intelligence from Israel military secrets, Mark?
I strongly disagree with something the president said today. I heard him say one other time, too, which is if we hadn't attacked Iran, Israel would not exist. It would have been destroyed. That's simply not true. It's simply not.
You know, that's actually an amazing admission. So now they're admitting that Iran was never a threat. Simply incredible. So now Mark Levin is admitting Iran was never a threat. So you lied the whole time. So the whole thing was a lie, Mark. What an unbelievable moment, guys. I'm telling you, I can't help it. I cannot help but stare at the beauty of this. I cannot help but revel in this mask-off moment. I cannot help but revel in these revelations. Now Mark Levin is saying there was never a threat from Iran. Now Mark Levin is saying there was no threat from Iran. Wow. And now this whole idea that, oh, Israel doesn't need America. Well, they seem to be quite scared now that Israel might not have America. You guys are awfully panicked. You're awfully panicked. And the only country that continues to violate ceasefires is not Iran, Mark.
Not true. For 12 days, Israel fought a year ago against the Iranian regime before we did. Destroyed its ground-to-air missiles.
So now we're going to pretend like Operation Midnight Hammer didn't happen, huh?
Destroyed its Soviet and / Russian radar systems. Destroyed much of its air force. Destroyed much of any of its defenses.
Yeah, you know, that's what we were told. And then we were told, wait, we didn't destroy it. And then they were blowing stuff up. Is it even possible for Mark Levin to be honest about this? Is it even possible for Mark Levin to tell the truth about anything here?
For 12 days. We went in on the 13th day.
You know what I love, too, about this from Mark Levin? He keeps saying we as if he's speaking from the Israeli perspective, which is actually more honest. That is the perspective that he's coming from. So when he's saying we in this context, he's talking about Israel. So that's who he really identifies as. That's who Mark Levin really represents and identifies as, Israel. But you know what's ironic about that when Mark says we? Mark says that from his radio studio in the United States of America. Isn't that convenient for Mark? Isn't that convenient for Mark to go on air and spout off a bunch of nonsense and saber rattling? But he doesn't have to go into the bunkers every day in Israel, does he? No. No, Mark Levin isn't. His studio is not in Tel Aviv. No, Mark Levin's studio is not in Israel. It's in America. So he talks this big game, and he says we, as he's finally being honest about who he is and what he represents. And he says, it's no big deal. We had a 12-day war with Iran. It's no big deal. Yeah, easy for you to say from the United States of America, Mark. I guess you don't care about all the Israelis that were going in and out of bunkers and living in bunkers for nights on end. I guess that doesn't matter to Mark Levin because he lives in the safety of the United States of America. Really convenient for Mark.
With our great bombers and those bombs, and we hit those nuclear sites.
Oh, now it's R? Oh, now you're no. Oh, now it's America. Now you're saying you're America because that's the mission that America did. That was our mission. Those were American bombers. So now, now R is Americans? I'm trying to keep up, Mark. Who are you? Who do you identify as?
But Israel has some very, very powerful weapons.
Oh.
That it has not used.
Oh.
I don't know this firsthand. Just go online and read about it.
Oh. Oops. You just exposed yourself, didn't you, Mark? Oops. Mark Levin just accidentally exposed himself. How did Mark Levin have such top secret information about Israel's military capabilities? Oh, I just read it online. I thought those were conspiracy theories, Mark. I thought those were just anti-Israel, anti-Semite conspiracy theories. Now you seem to confirm them. Now you seem to have intimate knowledge of these things, and you're even confirming them on your show. How does Mark Levin, the average American citizen in his studio in a discreet bunker, how does such a normal, common American guy have such high-level Israeli intelligence about their military capabilities? Oh, oops, I guess, that's kind of an interesting question. So he pretends, I just read about it online. Oh, nice one, Mark. Nice.
It's a secret that's not so secretive.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they've had them for decades.
Oh, they've had them for decades, huh? Oh, they've had nukes. Is that what you're saying, Mark?
Israel will survive.
Oh.
Period.
Okay. Fine. I have no problem with that. Good for Israel. I hope they do. With people like you're the biggest threat to Israel out there. It's people like you causing the world to turn against Israel. You're a bigger threat to Israel than Iran. What are you saying, Mark? Are you saying Israel is ready and willing to use a nuke? And against who exactly, Mark? Wow. Quite a revelation, isn't it? Quite a revelation. All right, I want to try to do something here. So Drew Hernandez, this is obviously AI. I want to just play this. Drew Hernandez made this AI clip from Levin, but I want to try to do something here. Secret studio footage from Mark Levin's show last night.
What? No, this can't be happening. They betrayed me. I'll kill them. My heart, it hurts so much. I can't breathe. Help me.
Okay, so guys, I was thinking to myself, it's like I need to voice over that because the AI voice is not really good, and I can do the Levin voice. So I was thinking I need to do a voice over that, but I have this thing. I'd rather do everything live. I can't help it. I'm like a do it live guy. I perform better when it's live. I don't know what it is. I prefer the pressure of being live. I don't like recording stuff. I want to be live. I like that pressure. I want the buzzer beater shot. So I just perform better when I'm live. So I'm like, you know what? I could try to cut that. I'd rather just do it live. So we're going to try. I think it'll be kind of funny too. We're going to try to do this live today. I need to take the script down. And then we're going to try to do this live, guys. And I'm going to try to voice over. I'm going to try to voice over this Mark Levin video here. We're going to have a little fun with this. All right. So let's all have a good laugh at me. Let's see. How many times do you think it'll take me to do an exact voiceover? All right. Let me get the script down first.
What? No, this can't be happening. They betrayed me. I'll kill them. My heart, it hurts so much. I can't breathe. Help me. What? No, this can't be happening. They betrayed me. I'll kill them. My heart, it hurts so much. I can't breathe. Help me. What? No, this can't be happening. They betrayed me. I'll kill them. My heart, it hurts so much. I can't breathe. Help me. What? No, this can't be happening. They betrayed me. I'll kill them. My heart, it hurts so much. I can't breathe. Help me. What? No, this can't be happening. They betrayed me. I'll kill them. My heart, it hurts so much. I can't breathe. Help me.
All right. Let's see how we want to do this. I think we're gonna We'll put this full screen. We'll just let it roll. We'll see how many tries this takes. We'll put this full screen. Let me mute this. And I think it should just roll again. Are you guys ready? This could be a total crash and burn, but let's just do it. Let's just have some fun with this. Let's give it a go. Let's try to help. I got to get into Mark Levin. I love war. I love death. I love destruction. I am a foreign loyalist. Mark Levin. All right, I got to get the voice down. Okay. All right, let's see if we can pull this off, guys. Let's see if we can pull this off. Here we go. Helping out. Maybe Drew Hernandez. We can get this to Drew. Oh, man, I'm going to need to, like... I'm trying to get my script right here. Okay. I think that should do it. Okay. What? No, this can't be happening. They betrayed me. I'll kill them. My heart, it hurts so much. I can't breathe. Help me. Did we do it? Did we do it one take? Is that one take, guys? Do we need another one? Do we need to do another one? Or is that a one take? Let me see. What do you guys think? Do we need to nail it? Did we nail it? Is that one take or do we need to hit another one? Is that one take, Owen? Does the legend live on? Boom. Can it. Cut it. Post it. We did it. Somebody get that to Drew Hernandez, too. That's his original video. He posted that. They're so desperate, guys. They got James Lindsay. They got James Lindsay going on with Dana Loesch, guys. This is how desperate they are. Oh, my gosh. That is some fun. Here's some more responses. Mike Pompeo. The rumored rift between Washington and Jerusalem over Iran is music to the ears of anti-Israel figures on both the left and the right. Hey, Mike Pompous ass. How about it's music to the ears of Americans on both the left and right? Let's reframe this. I'm so sick of your deep state propaganda. I'm so sick of your foreign propaganda against my people and my country. Excuse me, I'm about to crash out. I'm about to have a crash out energy. I can't see when you tap into the demonic energy of Mark Levin, you need like you need a separation. There has to be some sort of a cut from that. And you can't just break with such demonic energy that Mark Levin has. You need to consciously, okay, all right, we're getting it out. All right. No, Mike. But see, this is how they trick you. This is how they deceive you. This is how they manipulate you. Music to the ears of anti-Israel figures. How about music to the ears of American patriots? How about music to the ears of Americans who are sick of our disastrous foreign policy? How about music to the ears of Americans who want to put America first? How about that one for you, Mike? Let me editorialize for you, Mike. But he says, there's only one country that's responsible for prolonging this war, the Islamic Republic. We can't afford to lose sight of that. And it's a total lie. Trump has, and this is why this moment is so crazy, folks, because Trump knows this is not true. Trump just let Iran prove it. Iran could have struck Israel, and Trump said, please don't, and they didn't. Trump said, please don't strike the West Bank. Please don't strike the Golan Heights. Please don't strike Lebanon. And Israel striked all three of those sites after Trump asked them not to. Trump asked Iran not to strike Israel. They didn't do it. So who's really prolonging this war? It's not Iran. And now you liars, now Trump knows you're lying too. Now, I don't know if this changes where Trump goes. I don't know if this changes Trump's foreign policy or the direction it's been going so far. I don't know. We'll see. I think it looks like that, but we'll see. But now Trump gets to see you guys are liars. And now Trump gets to see, most importantly, that Netanyahu is a liar. You can't tell us that Iran is responsible for this. Everyone knows that's a lie now, including President Trump. Now, we had a caller mention Reagan and JFK earlier. So I saw U.S. Senator Bill Cassidy share this in his response. Ronald Reagan, is rolling over in his grave. Iran's nuclear ambitions were not curbed, and they have learned that threatening the Strait of Hormuz works and will undoubtedly leverage it in the future. Now, Iran gets to build brand new infrastructure under this deal. Before the war, the Strait was open, so it is a war, and you didn't vote for it, Bill, so that's interesting. Iran was being crushed by sanctions, and 13 service members were still alive. Yeah, those 13 service members died for the foreign policy that you support, Bill, so that blood's on your hands, bud. Now, 13 Americans are dead. Families have paid billions at the pump. Again, this is all your foreign policy. Sanctions will be lifted, and the bombings have stopped. This is the worst foreign policy to blunder in decades. Oh, my God. Yeah, the whole foreign policy has been a blunder for decades. That's the problem, Bill. But, you know, on the Reagan thing, it's funny, isn't it? Ronald Reagan gets shot at, and then the rest of his presidency becomes very pro-Israel. JFK uses his presidency to not support the Israeli lobby, even directly target the Israeli lobby, and, well, we all know what happened to him. And then there's Trump. Bullet whizzes by Trump, and all of a sudden he becomes the most pro-Israel president that we've ever seen. Maybe these things are all just a coincidence, but maybe not. Maybe not. Now, do you guys want to see this? The whole realignment happening right now is quite a sight, I have to tell you. So you guys may be familiar with an individual on X, Misfit Patriot, and you may be aware that I debated him probably about a year ago, even. And I said this whole war with Iran was going to happen, and I got, if you go back and you listen to that debate, I got proven right on everything. And now it looks like he's even starting to see the light. And I guess he's one of these people that really believed in, hey, we need to trust Trump no matter what. And now he's seeing all of the Israeli firsters turn on Trump and turn on him for supporting Trump's deal. And he's like, hey, what the hell is going on? Why are you pushing people like me out? Do you guys want to see this one or no? I'll pull it up here. I'll give you guys a couple seconds in the chat. Do you want to see Misfit Patriot confused at why MAGA is turning on him for supporting Trump? He's almost there. He's almost there, guys. Maybe he might eventually even admit Owen Schroyer was right. All right, here we go.
Right. See, this is just some, just bitchy comment, right? Maybe you should sign a treaty with them. Right? So I go, if you guys want to lose people like me, keep this shit up.
Oh.
I'm not doing well today on that. Right? Sit down, shut the up, and knock it the off. Get it? Right? And I'm doing this as a response, very intentionally, right? Because Charlie, let's remind everybody, I cannot and will not be bullied like this. You, anyone, I'm not painting all Jews with a broad brush. I'm not painting all supporters with a broad brush. I am saying stereotypes do exist, right? And tribalism definitely exists, right? And if you are going to try to sort of kick me out of the tribe, I will go, you. Fuck you. No.
Now you know how we felt.
You. I also need to figure out how to mute that when I talk, because I realize when I've been hitting the naughty button, you guys have still been hearing the naughty word, and I didn't know how to. I need Sean Farish to help me with this.
Help you with technical issues or foreign policy? Because I think on foreign policy, he probably would say F you now, too. That's pretty funny right there. Tried to warn you, bud. I told you what they were all about. I told you day one what they were all about. Now they're coming after you because really you were never one of them. Enjoy the show. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, they're all attacking J.D. Vance today. I've got more of this. Here, let's play the clip. They say all the foreign lobby is attacking J.D. Vance for this clip today.
I've seen skeptics of the deal. People say the Iranians will never change their behavior. Well, maybe that's true, and if so, they don't get any of the benefits of the bargain. But isn't it worth trying? isn't it worth seeing whether this incredibly weakened position that the President of the United States has put the Iranians under, whether that motivates them to change their behavior, not just vis-a-vis the West, but vis-a-vis the Middle East? And one of the interesting things about this is, the technical details of this we can, of course, get into. There are going to be any number of opinions about the negotiation, about where it's ultimately going to go. But I tend to think that you should trust the people who know the Iranians the best and who have the most to lose. What are the Gulf Arab states saying about this deal? What are they saying about this deal compared to the JCPOA in 2015? This is the Obama nuclear deal. Well, back then, they hated that deal. They felt like it empowered the Iranians to be bad actors across the region. And of course, that's exactly what happened. They were right about that. What are they saying about the president's peace deal? They're saying this is an amazingly transformative thing for the region because either way, we and the broader region win. Iran is weakened, their nuclear program destroyed, their economy in desperate straits, and if they change their behavior, big things are going to happen for Iran and for the world. If they don't, no skin off our backs. Either way, we win, and that's the way the president has set up this deal and this negotiation.
So you have to wonder what issue you would have with that. You'd have to wonder why would you take such an issue with anything that he said right there? And specifically speaking, why is it that the Israeli lobby and the Israeli loyalists in the West are so upset with this deal? And I think we now know the answer. And he maybe alludes to it a little bit there, a little bit in another clip, and Trump has alluded to it too. I think it's very clear, guys. Forget everything that was said or done and go back to the beginning. They wanted troops on the ground. That's what this was all about. This was all about Trump putting troops on the ground and, if nothing else, taking Karg Island. And so Marion Adelson and the Israeli lobby believed that the hundreds of billions of dollars that they invested in the 2024 election meant that Trump would use troops to invade Karg Island. Trump would allow Israel to expand its borders. And then at the end of that war, when the dust was settled, Israel would reassert itself in the region with control over all the resources, all the waterways, and become the dominant factor in the Middle East over the rest of the Arab and Muslim nations. That's what they have spent trillions of dollars on to accomplish. We're talking about decades of political propaganda, war, and money spent in American politics, trillions of dollars to get this war. And now Trump has seemingly put an end to it, and that's why they're freaking out. There's nothing you can sit there and point out with Vance and say, hey, that's not good. They're mad because they can't put U.S. troops on the ground. That's why they're mad. And now they're mad because they don't know what to do if Israel continues to try to expand its borders into Lebanon and Iran decides they're going to defend Lebanon, or maybe some other powers in the Middle East decide they're going to defend Lebanon. What's going to happen when Israel calls President Trump and says, hey, we need the military, and Trump says, no, you violated the deal. We're not helping you. What happens then? And maybe we'll find out. And maybe we'll find out. But again, when you have Vance doing the media tours and, sounding like us, I'm sorry, but yeah, that makes me feel good.
But yeah, you've seen people in their system, Ben-Gvir and Smotrich, who've attacked the deal. And I guess my response to them would be, what is your exact proposal? And, you're a country of 9 million people. You can't just kill your way out of solving every single national security problem that you have.
Folks, Trump and Vance are looking Israel dead in the eye and saying, stop bombing, stop killing, please. And they're telling the world they've lost their mind. They're trying to kill their way out of every situation. They want to bomb every country in the world. It's all out there. You can't reverse these statements. You can't erase them from history. This has happened. This is a major inflection point, guys. You might not believe it's real, and maybe it's another bait and switch. That's fine. But, I mean, they've said it now. People can't just point at me or Candace Owens or Tucker Carlson or you name it. They can't just point at us and say, you're this, you're that, you're crazy, blah, blah, blah. No. No, the White House sounds like us now. No, Donald Trump and J.D. Vance all of a sudden sound like us now. Like they're listening to us, reading our transcripts. It's happened before. It's happened before. Now we can look at some of the response in Israel. This is wild. This is wild. So this is an Israeli. He posts this today. Weirdest vibe in Israel right now. An entire nation feels betrayed. Well, that's ironic considering many Americans felt that way for about a year now, but I guess we'll put that aside. Okay. So obviously this is in respect to Trump. They say, oh, we feel betrayed by Trump, like you own Trump, like Trump is the president of Israel and somehow Israel is entitled to America's blood and treasure. I mean, that's what's being expressed here. And so again, it's like this is the big moment of reveal, so I'm glad. Okay, so oh, they feel betrayed like we owe you guys anything. And that's how it is. That's their entitlement. Hey, maybe if you guys could just stop the death and destruction for like 48 hours, but you can't. So that's on you. So now they're making these memes in Israel. This is the meme that's going around right now, attacking Trump. And it's comparing Obama and Trump's deal. And, you know, it's ironic, too, because they talk about how no Americans died from Obama's deal. And it's just like, yeah. So, in other words, the effect of Obama's deal were positive. No one died and bombs weren't dropped. So what are you bitching about? But okay. So they're praising Obama now. They're saying Obama had a better deal than Trump. 0 dead Americans, $1.7 billion to Iran, $0 for cost of deal. Now they say Trump took a loss in Iran. Well, we were only there for Israel interests anyway, so okay. It's a win getting us out, actually, so it's a win for Trump. Maybe he can turn a loss into a win. Maybe you think it's a negative. Still. And they say Americans dead or wounded, 520 plus. So again, that's blood for Israel. Money given to Iran, $25 billion, $500 billion. Again, that's money for Israel. You guys got us into this mess, and now we've paid for it again. So you'd think you'd be grateful. You'd think that here we are again, and more blood and treasure spilled in the Middle East for Israel's interest. You'd think maybe a thank you was in order. You'd think maybe some appreciation. And you know what? Maybe you don't like the results of this deal, and maybe you don't like the fact that it looks like America is ready to pull out of the Middle East. Maybe you don't like that. That's fine. But you should at least be shaking our hand and saying thank you on our way out. Instead, after all the blood and treasure that the United States of America has spilled in the Middle East for Israel's interest, you guys are giving us the middle finger? You ungrateful, ingrate, entitled, spoiled brats are giving us the middle finger for everything we've done for you? I'm glad this is happening. You know what, though? I'll say this. I feel bad for the Israelis that are actually could suffer from this negativity and this consequence here. I do. But you know what? I'm not an Israeli. I don't want to go to Israel. That's very unfortunate. And my guess is if this deal gets through the weekend, you're going to see a mass exodus of Israel. I bet you the Israelis are going to be fleeing the country next week. Again, more irony of the situation here. See, this is why I talk about the future. We're all witnessing this. Americans that are like 50 and younger specifically, or my age group in their 30s, we have watched our entire lives the United States foreign policy perpetually spill blood and treasure in the Middle East for Israel's interest. This has been going on our entire lives, and it has affected our way of life. We have suffered for that. And now we've said we've had enough. We've had enough. We've got to go home. We've got to get deals that benefit us. We've had enough. And instead of thanking us and shaking our hand and saying, you know what, it was a great effort. We had a great partnership here. You guys did a lot for us, and we are appreciative of that. Instead, they give us the middle finger and try to kick us out the door. And I hope we leave and never come back. And I pray that these psychotics in Israel that are going to hurt their own people, because that's what's going to happen. They're going to hurt their own people. They're going to be back in bunkers. And the Ben Gavirs and the Netanyahus of the world, they won't be, they'll be in a different country. And it's the Israeli people that will suffer. And it's too bad that now this is how Israeli people are going to be viewed around the world because of these radical warmongers now. Not my problem, but that's how it's going to go. Trump said help is on the way. He ended up helping Iran. I think by now it's pretty accurate to say those who believed Trump actually cared about Israel, myself included, were wrong. That is funny. That is hilarious. Well, maybe it's true. Maybe Trump was working this deal with Iran the whole time to expose you guys. Maybe that's true. Maybe it's all QAnon. Is that what you guys are believing now? This is how ridiculous it is, by the way. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's take a break. I want to talk about this foreign influence now and how we have a major Trump advisor that is calling this out and directly associating it to Mark Levin. I want to take a short break, but when we come back, we're going to look at this foreign influence. We're going to hit a couple more of these headlines. We'll get to your super chats before the end of the show. Maybe take a couple calls as well. Final hour of the Owen Report coming up next.
You're listening to the Owen Report on the Win Network.
It's the fastest 3 hours on the internet. It's the Owen Report with Owen Schroyer.
All right, I want to get into the foreign influence deal here and get into the Trump advisor that is calling this out and then directing it at Mark Levin, by the way. And then I got a couple other headlines, and we'll get to your super chats. Quite a bit of super chats to get to today. So I'm not as concerned about what is being said here. It's just a bunch of foreign lobby slop. But you have this account, Neo, who is coming after me today. So this is how I found this out, because this person was attacking me. So you have this account, Neo, pushing a bunch of Israel propaganda. This account is based in West Asia. Okay? So I don't know what that is, but this Neo account based in West Asia, pushing Israeli propaganda, attacking me today. And then you've got this other account, Live Iran News, that has an Iranian flag and an Israeli flag in the bio, claiming to be news from Iran that is actually based in America. So what is all of this? How does somebody in West Asia pushing Israel propaganda get responded to by somebody pretending to be Iranian news in America? It's like, this is the insanity on social media right now. But hey, I'm glad. I'm not calling for censorship. I see people that are saying, hey, they need to like censor this, or they need to like be able to ban it. I think, what they've done with X so you can see where people are posting from. I think that's a good step, so that, it gives you an idea if you want to interpret something different that's coming from, West Asia versus something that's coming from America. The one option that they could potentially add would be, if you wanted to, say, block all content coming from a certain region. So it's like whatever they consider West Asia, when you click on X, you click on the date joined, I think it is, on X, and it takes you to where they post from. So whatever they consider West Asia, it's like if you wanted to block all incoming content from there, you could have that option. Now, there's always going to be proxies, and so you can dummy as an American. There's always going to be workarounds. That's just the nature of the internet. But that could be another step that they could take for people that really just want to get all of this foreign propaganda off their timeline. The one thing that you can do right now is you can just, mute or block it. But okay, so you got all of this going on, and anybody that kind of follows this and investigates it a little bit, you realize it's all these foreign accounts, many anonymous, meaning it's, there's no identifiable person behind it, and it's all coming from foreign countries. So it's a pretty obnoxious phenomenon happening on X. It definitely dilutes the political discourse as far as American politics are concerned. Now, Alex Bruesewitz has been calling this out on X. He is a Trump advisor. And let's look at some of the things that he was saying today. Quoting a Times of Israel story in response to Mark Levin. Is Mark Levin our crash out of the day? I mean, he's got to be. Crash out of the day brought to you by crashout.energy. Today's crash out of the day is Mark Levin. So Levin is crashing out over the deal. He's attacking Trump. So Alex Bruesewitz responds, says, hello, Mark Levin. An Israeli source confirmed to the Times of Israel that the Israeli government will be using you and other right-wing media figures to try to influence the president's deal. Can you confirm or deny? Well, Levin has not responded And then the exact quote from the Times of Israel: Netanyahu plans to use media figures such as Fox News' Mark Levin and pro-Israel politicians to get his message across to Trump. Yeah, so they use influence, money, probably blackmail, threats, all of this stuff, try to influence American politics. And now we all are aware of it more so than ever before. And so we're trying to stop it from happening. And this bothers Mark Levin because it appears he is part of that foreign influence propaganda operation. And this is a Trump advisor calling this out today on X. So maybe spread that far and wide, but he wasn't done. Brusiewicz goes on, from a far-up perspective, now he's responding to Mossad commentary on X. Trump advisor Alex Brusiewicz. From a far-up perspective, direct financial payment isn't always the deciding factor. If someone is acting as an agent of a foreign government by coordinating efforts to influence U.S. officials or shape American public opinion, they are generally required to register and disclose that relationship under the Foreign Agents Registration Act. That said, I wouldn't be surprised if money is also involved. Israel has paid tens of millions of dollars to a right-wing influencer firm in recent months. Wow. Wow. And by the way, when Mossad commentary says no money is in play, that's obviously a lie. We know that's a lie because Netanyahu has told us there is money in play. So they just lie. They just lie nonstop. Now we know. You can understand that now and react accordingly. But what Brusiewicz is saying here, who knows if this has any serious momentum in D.C.? Who knows if this catches any tread as far as the Trump administration is concerned? But this is a Trump advisor. What Brusiewicz is saying is, which he's right, by the way, Israel has found all these different loopholes to get around FARA law. And that's kind of what Israelis do, by the way. Like, it's true. I have this, you've probably seen this before. Like, I have this video, they have all of these different laws. There's all these different religious laws about Shabbat and all this other stuff. And so they find different ways to be able to use like electricity without violating Jewish law. I'm sure you've seen these videos. Like, they're tricking God. They're deceiving God. It's like, hey, this is our loophole. We're going to deceive and trick God. So they think so they try to do the same thing with FARA. But just because you're not taking money, as Brusiewicz explains, if you're knowingly involved in a foreign influence operation, it doesn't matter if you're taking money or not. That still falls under the FARA qualifications. And boy, oh boy, would that be a dragnet on a bunch of foreign loyalists in the media? If that caught tread, dozens of people would be in a FARA violation, maybe hundreds. And boy, would that clean up the foreign propaganda in our media overnight. Here's another one. One more from Brusiewicz. Headline, Times of Israel. Netanyahu to lean on right-wing pundits, pro-Israel senators to influence final Iran deal. Brusiewicz responds, I've been highlighting this for weeks, and Israeli sources are now confirming it. Right-wing social media influencers and television and radio pundits should be required to disclose any relationships with foreign governments seeking to influence President Trump and other U.S. officials. P.S. I'm aware that Israel is not the only country doing this, but this is the most consequential example at the moment. We need foreign influence out of our political commentary, or at the very least, far stricter disclosure laws. Alex Brusiewicz. Now, this is not a 100 or 0% option here. But I think that you can use a certain guiding principle right now to determine who out there is working for foreign influence campaigns and who is not. And the response to this Iran deal is that guidestone. So again, I'm not saying it's a 100 or 0% where, everybody that doesn't like the deal is part of some Israel operation or some Israel influence operation. But it's a pretty good guidestone. I think we get a pretty good idea here A lot of these big voices, a lot of these establishment voices, a lot of these neocon voices, yes, they are part of an Israeli influence campaign in American politics. And this could be through a media company they work for. It could be direct payments. It could be something else, but we're all seeing it. It's not 100% or 0% option, but I think we all know exactly what we're looking at here. When we look at the responses to this Iran deal and the people complaining about it, I think it's a pretty solid guidestone to say, you're part of a foreign influence operation the way you responded to this deal. And the ones that say, hey, you know what, I'm glad the war is over, they're probably good Americans not taking foreign influence money. And I guess to go back to the last hour, credit to Misfit Patriot. He's not one of them. Because clearly he doesn't like what's going on now. Oh, boy. All right. Then there's what happened in Moscow. Oh, you know what? One more thing. You may see this story. You may see this story going around how Israel is, they're famous for their pager bombs and everything else. And I saw this story going around about how Israel is making bombs that look like toys so that people in Palestine or Lebanon will go try to pick up these toys, and it's a bomb. It ends up blowing them up and killing them. And I thought, there's this images going around that they just got caught doing it with these soccer balls. So it's these toys that look like soccer balls, but it's a bomb. And I saw that and I said, really? Like that seems a little, that seems like that might not be true. Let me look into this a little bit to see if that was true or not. Would they really be making bombs that look like toys so kids go pick them up? There's no way they're that evil, right? Folks, this is from 2007. The toys that kill in Lebanon. Apparently, they have been doing this for decades. Sorry, but if you have an ally that makes bombs look like toys, I think that ally is taking you in a very bad place, a very dark, demonic direction, and it's time to say no more. If not, maybe turn around and say, hey, what the hell is wrong with you? That is amongst the most disgusting things I've ever heard of. So couldn't believe that. Didn't want to believe that. Got proven true, apparently, for decades. All right, then there's Moscow. So this is all after the G7. And it's like, all right, the G7 doesn't go Israel's way, but then the G7 does go Ukraine's way. And I think this is connected. The G7 recommitting to supporting Ukraine here. And then the next day, Ukraine bombards Moscow with one of the biggest drone attacks of the war. The attack, which will shut down the capital's airports for several hours, was part of an escalating campaign to bring the conflict home to Russians. This is probably the biggest attack in Russia. I mean, you could make that argument depending on your metrics. But it's definitely, arguably, the biggest attack on Russia since the war started. And many people are wondering how the hell were they able to penetrate so deep into Russian territory with hundreds of drones? And that's kind of the big question right now. But this has been a major escalation. Ukraine launches largest attack on Moscow since start of full-scale war. And I don't know if you've seen some of these videos of the refineries blowing up. I mean, they did it. So, they're debating how many drones got through. Hundreds of drones got through. Hundreds of drones got shot down. This was the biggest drone attack, biggest penetration of Russia's border since the war, maybe the biggest attack since the start of the war. Happens right after G7. Major escalation on that front. And everybody's kind of, put that out of heart, out of mind. But, we're still like 500 bill into that war. We're still heavily invested into that war. So, worth keeping an eye on there. And I don't think Russia is going to take that escalation lightly. No, I don't. And you hope that stays regional. But that is a major escalation. All right, meanwhile, you know what? I'm going to wait on this one. I'm going to wait on this one till tomorrow because I've got some other developments on this story for tomorrow. So I'm actually going to wait. Let me just skip over this. Oh boy, do you want to look at some of the more TPUSA drama here? I guess we could take a gander here. You may remember Aubrey Leitch. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that name right, but we played her video. She's the young lady who was with TPUSA for a long time and recently quit, and she did that viral video about why and some of the stuff that she saw behind the scenes that she didn't like. And she's kind of keeping up with the direction, and you might argue the decreasing popularity of TPUSA. And I guess Andrew Colvett shot some video, and it got a bunch of attention. They did some AI spoofing of it, too. I never saw the video, but I saw that it went viral, and a bunch of people AI spoofed it. So I don't even know what's in the video. She's sharing the comments. So all the replies to Colvett's video, and it's like 98% negative. And so she got attacked. I don't know if this Dalton individual is... Yeah, so this is a regional manager at Turning Point named Dalton, who's getting into it with the former Turning Point USA, Aubrey Leitch. And she says... because she's pointing out that TPUSA is hemorrhaging popularity here, and she's showing all the comments. It's always funny when someone I've never met and couldn't pick out of a lineup wants to lecture me about TPUSA. Enjoy the honeymoon phase. The Kool-Aid is strongest when you're still drinking it by the gallon. Whoa. Whoa. You know, the whole thing has been so weird. I don't want to go too much into it today, but I think we're all getting a pretty clear picture of what TPUSA was really all about. And without Charlie now steering it and being the face and the voice of it, there is nothing left that's identifiably American patriot. I mean, you can do graphics and pyrotechnics and, you know, song and dance and everything. It comes across as hollow. It comes across as shallow. Nobody's really buying it. You can see it in the comments. You can see it in all the former TPUSA people speaking out. And the fact that, you know, you hate to even put it this way because it sounds so crass. Because it's not that TPUSA shouldn't, it's not that you don't want TPUSA out there as a force for conservative values and keeping the youth away from leftist Democrat politics and policies, especially on the college campuses where it's so bad. In fact, I have a story about that. But without Charlie, it's feeling kind of rudderless, and its identity is no longer, you know, directionally what American conservatives imagined it would be. And now you've got all of this infighting going on, and they're just kind of doing the show every day, going through the motions. And it's like, it's weird to do the Charlie Kirk show without Charlie Kirk now. And you're almost a year into this. Are you going to do it? So it's just like you're going to do the Charlie Kirk show forever. I mean, shouldn't we just let the man rest? And if TPUSA wants to do a show, you can call it the TPUSA show or whatever else. But it's like every day that there's a Charlie Kirk show without Charlie, it just keeps getting weirder, I think, to the people that are watching it. And they're saying, well, none of these guys are Charlie. I don't know the direction of these guys. I don't know where they're taking this. So now you see all this infighting with the former employees, the current employees, and it doesn't really seem to be getting any better. Now, I've barely covered this because I've been distracted by the potential direction shift in foreign policy here. We mentioned this a couple times. There was just a new discovery. Alleged ringleader behind White House UFC attack plot ID'd as illegal immigrant, granted dreamer status under Obama. So a non-citizen was working with some other people to try to have a terror attack style event at UFC 250. Folks, the details of this are pretty bad. Quite frankly, pretty concerning, pretty bad. You hope this is an isolated deal, but you can't help but be concerned that there could be other groups like this. And it's what's even funnier. Well, I don't know if funnier is the right word, except maybe like it's funny, like it stinks, it smells bad. The details of this thing, they were talking about having like kill zones and snipers, drones. I mean, this was not a light deal. This was a serious thing. And if you take it at face value, you got to give the FBI some credit and Homeland Security some credit, because this could have been a real bad deal, guys. This could have been a real bad deal. And let's hope that this is just an isolated one-off. But you can't help but wonder. Now, I was saying this because I recently watched the movie One Battle After the Other, and it was not at all what I expected. In fact, I don't even care about the spoiler alert because I wouldn't advise watching it. It sucked. I thought it was going to be kind of like, action drama, fast-paced, whatever. No. One Battle After the Other, the most recent, I guess, Leonardo DiCaprio movie, it was like a leftist wet dream of how to do terror attacks in America. It was like all about following this leftist, radical leftist ideological group about how they attack, ICE agents and different ICE events and stuff. So it's almost like they wanted a bunch of liberals, or they wanted a bunch of Americans to watch that and then say, oh, this is how we can form a group and attack government infrastructure and government agents and all of this stuff. And what do you know? They put that out right before the election. And then you hear about this event. And now they have another one coming out. And Sean Penn, by the way, Sean Penn was in the movie One Battle After the Other. He was one of the main characters in that movie. He's now doing a movie about a January 6th event. So Sean Penn and Bradley Cooper, I believe it is, they're going to be producing and directing a movie about January 6th now. So what type of propaganda are they going to try to shove at us with that deal? You can only wonder. Yeah, but it's just like this is what they're doing now, is they're trying to use like Hollywood theatrics and cinema to teach people, hey, here's how it's like, hey, wink, wink, nod, nod. Here's how you can go out and do this. But it's just a movie. No, it's just entertainment. It's just a movie. But like, oh, here's how you do this. Here's how you do that. Oh, yeah. Oh, just a movie, just a movie. Seems like that's where they're trying to go here. Big solar panel fire in Los Angeles. Massive fire involving solar panels erupts at commercial building in Boyle Heights area of Los Angeles. Yikes. That's a disaster. Those things on fire, environmental disaster. Whole roof was pretty much on fire. I don't think that helps with the solar panels, the fire there. I don't think that's a good one. By the way, on the college thing, you guys may have seen this. People found there's a girl who's been at a couple TPUSA events, and I guess she got famous at the first one because I don't know if it was intentional or not. She had a Janet Jackson. She did a Janet Jackson with the boob, as you can see here. Don't worry, it's censored, guys. Viva Frey is pointing out this. I'll show you what he's pointing out here in a second. So this is her. I think like 2 years ago. She just gets into college here. Here she is, like an underclassman in college. Aside from whatever is going on in her mind or with her wardrobe malfunction here, you'd say that's a pretty good-looking girl. Healthy, skinny, looks like she's, most guys would say, yeah, that's a good-looking girl. And so here she is then with the with the Janet Jackson wardrobe malfunction. Was that intentional or not? I don't know. So here she is a couple years ago, and then she popped up on another video, and now here she is now. And she's gained about 50 pounds. Her skin is not vibrant anymore. She's got a bunch of piercings, and it's just, you see that transformation. I mean, what a tragedy. And I have to agree. This sounds crazy. It sounds extreme. But, you know, the more you live your life and the more you start to just appreciate beauty, and I don't mean that in like a superficial way. I mean just like the beauty of life, the beauty of creation, the beauty of innocence, youth, whatever. It's like the older you get, the more you appreciate that stuff because you know it's waning. So Viva says, I'm not necessarily a believer in demonic possession, but this could convince me. She's back on camera, clearly become mentally ill, demonically possessed, or simply evil. Well, I don't know if it's whether she's demonically possessed or if she's getting demonic propaganda, but you know what? I reach a same conclusion. I'm more willing to be a believer in demonic possession than Viva. In fact, I am a believer, I would say. I would say demonic possession is real. So I am a believer, and I don't know if this is an example of demonic possession or demonic influence, but that's what this is. This is the epitome of youth and beauty and femininity. And then this is it destroyed. And that's demonic. That's demonic. Destruction of beauty, destruction of innocence, destruction of femininity is demonic. So whether that's demonic influence or possession, I think that is on display. And it's really bad in the colleges. If you've been, you know. By the way, did you guys see famous movie, it was the early 2000s, I think, Lilo and Stitch. She was also the young girl in The Ring. Young voiceover and actress Davy Chase died at 35 years old. Now, anytime there's a Hollywood young unexpected death, you know, there's always conspiracy theories. But there was this, you know, I don't want to say too much about the Ashton Kutcher thing, but you start to wonder if the whole him fighting human trafficking was just a cover for something else. Because here's Ashton Kutcher and P. Diddy with her when she's 12 years old and she wins an award. And then this is what happens. This is what happens backstage after a 12-year-old wins the award with Ashton Kutcher and P. Diddy there by her side. Listen to what Diddy says to a 12-year-old girl afterwards.
I won the MTV Movie Award. Coming to the after party tonight?
Are you coming to the after party? Hits differently now, doesn't it? Doesn't seem so innocent now, does it? Saying that to a 12-year-old girl when everybody now knows what was going on at Diddy parties. Yeah. Yeah. Speaking, somebody brought up the goy slop. The foreigners are loving the goy slop, guys. The foreigners are really enjoying our goy slop. I got to say, though, I said this. I admitted it. I said Monday. Was it Monday this week or last week? You know, I was skeptical. I was skeptical of the World Cup. I was skeptical that we would pull it off. I'll admit it. I was a skeptic. And I'm very proud. The people that are traveling here and going to the games, they are enjoying themselves. They are enjoying our country. They are enjoying our people. They are enjoying our stadiums. This is great. The World Cup so far has been a success. And as long as everyone coming here is enjoying it, then that's great. And that's what I'm seeing. But they're loving the goy slop. I mean, they are posting their goy slop enjoyment every single day. Look at how much these foreigners are enjoying their goy slop, guys.
I'm in America for the World Cup and trying Chick-fil-A for the first time, are we? Oh my days.
Oh my days. Oh my days.
Is that a thing? Oh my days. By the way, we fixed. There's apparently a sound issue here. DMT should have fixed it. That's on him today. I'm going to give him a hard time. I just fixed it. We forgot to turn off the echo cancellation after the phone call. Hey, whenever that happens, DMT, whenever that happens after the phone lines, you just got to turn that off. That's what it is. I usually do that, but if I forget to, don't just text me about it. Just go ahead and fix that next time. So let's go. I'm sorry. I know there was a brief echo there. I forgot a settings change. I have to switch settings when we take phone calls. So that's what that was about earlier. I fixed it now. So here we go. Enjoy the foreigners enjoying our beautiful goy slop.
I'm in America for the World Cup and trying Chick-fil-A for the first time, are we? Oh my days.
Oh my days. Oh my days.
Amazing!
First bite, man.
Guys, I'm in America, and I can't lie, I've been hearing about Waffle House.
This is fucking nuts. I gotta be, neither the Canadian nor the English brain can comprehend this at this moment in time. Wow. The sandwich was made by the Lord himself. Oh my God, this is amazing.
America, what have you guys done to me? I have become taco obsessed. Tacos.
Yeah.
My God.
I'm in IHOP and I voted the chicken waffle. I've never seen this before in my life. That's good chicken.
We're in the States for the World Cup, so we figured we might as well try some Raising Cane's, a couple Canadians. Oh, the sauce is really fucking good.
I'm trying KFC for the first time in America.
Oh!
Steak, hamburger, and Caesar salad. So good.
A steak, and that Mexican?
Mexican.
Yeah, yes. I'm currently in Brooklyn, New York, and I'm about to get Mexican food from a food truck. Ah, you're lying. Oh my.
Even our food trucks are better than their food.
Days. Oh. Right, spicy pork taste test. Oh my God.
You know, it's such an interesting paradigm because Americans travel Europe, wherever, and they talk about how food overseas sometimes is more fresh or tastes better. But then the foreigners come here and, I mean, they eat our unhealthy food and they just talk about how much better it is. It's kind of a funny little parody there.
That is insane.
Paradox, not parody.
What's the best American food? I'll go try it.
An authentic chorizo burrito.
Is that American?
No, but in California it is.
Okay.
First time Chipotle. This right here is a chicken queso burrito. Oh, bullocks, that's good.
You know what's funny? Have any of you guys ever, have you ever known a foreign exchange student or just a foreign student? You know, almost all of them go back home fatter. Almost all of them go back home fatter. It's like guaranteed that when the foreigners come here, foreign exchange program or, you know, international student programs, they always go home fatter. They always go home fatter. And I know a couple, and I know a couple that was like bad. Not just like, yeah, you know, put a couple pounds on or, you know, got a little rounded out on the edges. I mean, like blimp. In fact, if there is I can't, it's kind of mean, but sometimes my family listens and they may remember there was a foreign exchange student that was staying with one of our family members. I think she actually, she might've done it twice, from Spain. And she came the first time. She was younger. I don't remember how old she was. And she came skinny, healthy, good-looking girl. Did, I think, 8 months in a school year. And I mean, maybe 30, 40 pounds. I mean, like came skinny, healthy, young Spanish girl and went home like an American Goodyear blimp. I mean, I've seen a couple. But they struggle here. They come here, they eat our food, and they get fat. So, enjoy it, though. All right, guys, it's official. Mike Myers says Austin Powers 4 will happen, and I'm here for it. Big Austin Powers fans. Maybe Austin Powers, maybe my favorite movies of all time, maybe my favorite trilogy of all time. And I don't know how many people still watch cable TV. Obviously, I do. They have been running a Austin Powers ad. I haven't listened to it. I can't tell if it's AI or not. I'm not so sure. But they have been running an Austin Powers ad. I forget what it is. And I just see it. I don't have the audio on with my cable, so I just see it on TV. I don't know if they did it kind of looks AI. I can't tell if it's AI or it's just they did a weird high definition shoot of it. But I was like, oh, why are they doing a marketing campaign with Austin Powers? It's actually Dr. Evil. They're in Dr. Evil's lair. And Dr. Evil might be the greatest movie character of all time, by the way. Just for that. I think Dr. Evil might be the greatest movie villain of all time. So they're doing this. I'm like, oh, well, why are they marketing Austin Powers, Dr. Evil? And then, they've officially decided they're going to do the movie. All right. Do you guys want to see this? I mentioned this earlier. I might as well just show this, and then we'll go to your super chats. So, do you believe that you can trick God?
This is a caffeine suppository. You understood me correctly. It's caffeine for your asshole. I'm recording this on Yom Kippur, which is like a Jewish holiday. It's not like a Jewish holiday. It is a Jewish holiday. It's a day of atonement. It's a day to say you're sorry. So I guess Jews, you don't eat just to show how sorry we are to God, each other, to ourselves. I don't know. I'm not religious, okay? But some religious people found a convenient loophole in that, well, you can't ingest anything. You can go backwards. So my friend gave me the caffeine for your asshole. I'm going to do the butt caffeine, and I'm going to report back. This is
Well, I'm sure God approves of that. I'm sure your religious laws and texts that tell you have to fast during your religious holiday, but I'm sure God is okay with you shoving something up your butt. I'm sure God says, oh, that's okay. I'll allow that. Totally normal stuff. Hey, if they think they can deceive God, how do you think they feel about you? Wow. How do you even get to that point? It's like, I'm gonna honor my faith. I'm gonna honor my religion. I'm gonna honor my God. I'm not allowed to ingest anything. So instead, I'm gonna stick something up my bunghole. Who came up with that idea? Wow. Okay. That's fun, isn't it, guys? Don't try that at home or on the road or anywhere, really, I would say. All right, let's get to the super chats before we sign off today. As we do at the end of every show, we read our super chats on YouTube. Thanks to everybody for following on YouTube. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Help us grow there. It's really the best place for growth right now, and so we really appreciate you growing our channel there. They don't let me grow on X. I'm not allowed to grow there. We do love X, but not allowed to grow. And then, we do good on Rumble, but I think Rumble has kind of hit its capacity right now. And until there's maybe another issue with censorship, I think Rumble's kind of where it's at right now, which is good. We love Rumble. It's good to be there. We need Rumble. But for whatever reason, YouTube is like, that's where we can get growth and find new audience. So please keep sharing the show there and following us and helping us grow. It means a lot. All right. Dust Vault leads us off. Crashed out, turned me into a sexual Tyrannosaurus Rex. I told you guys, Crash Out, I can market it for anything. I could market it for blood health. I could market it for blood flow. You understand? So I don't even market it for that. It's like a, mental energy thing, but congratulations. Good for you. PFF. Well, indeed. Brian Swope. Thanks. Thank you. Billy Cardano. Father's Day this Sunday. Don't forget family. That's right. My family is getting in actually tonight. And then that's why tomorrow's show is kind of in the balance. I'll have family staying with me starting tonight. So I'm like, I need to be on air. I told you guys yesterday, I need to be on air every day. I'm trying to get to the point where we can move into a new studio. I'm trying to get to that point. I do like the radio studio here, but I'm trying to get it. I want to be in a new studio at the year mark. And we'll be coming up on that in October. And it will fly by. It will fly by. But so I need to be on air Friday so we can continue in that pace. May get caught up with family, but I do plan on being here. We'll see. Does this mean you'll go back to being called the Cuck Slayer, Iron Lunatic? Well, I always have been. I've been slaying all the neo-cucks. I've been slaying all the cuck-servatives. So really, it hasn't changed. So they never really stopped calling me that. Just the direction has kind of shifted a little bit. I don't know if reversal is real, but I do know for certain that if Original MAGA doesn't back him when he's moving the ball in our direction, then Trump will have no choice but to head back to Tel Aviv. Yeah, that's another good way to put it. And that's not exactly, well, I mean, I wouldn't say that that's the conclusion that I'm reaching, but I think that it's a factor. That is a factor. I presented it a little bit differently, but that's another way to look at it. And it's true. That's what I'm saying, guys. Whatever you think about Trump, this isn't about Trump. This is bigger than Trump. This is about the country. This is about the future. And I'm telling you, the neocons and the donor class are are losing their grip on the wheel. They're losing their grip on the reins. You don't want to get in there and try to take it? Come on. Don't give up the fighting spirit. This is still ours. So no, I see them losing their grip here, and I see an opportunity for us to take it. And yeah, who knows? Maybe if Trump sees that in this moment it's time to side with us, then yeah, we should be there and saying, yeah, Trump's back on our side again. That's a good thing. That's one's going to rub people the wrong way. I know it. I know. That's a tough one. Interestingly bored. Did you hear what Mike Huckabee just said? Israel is about to tank our economy. Prepare for famine. I hope that Trump is circumstantially aware enough that whatever leverage Israel might have over such a thing, he's nullified it. But no doubt, as I said, they have spent trillions of dollars to get this war with Iran, and Trump just might have ended it. So they're not just going to give that up. They're not just going to let America get out of this. In their eyes, they feel entitled to this war. In their eyes, they feel entitled to American blood and treasure because they've purchased it. So we'll have to see. I mean, Huckabee, what a traitor. I mean, how unreal has that been? How do you guys measure this, by the way? Because I don't get into this one too much. I'm just kind of covering it from the news perspective. Like, are all of these guys blackmailed, or are they just that pathetic? I don't know how else are you supposed to measure a Mike Huckabee? It's like, are you that blackmailed, or are you that pathetic? I don't really see how it could be any other way at this point. And it's more than just Huckabee, but he's like, holy smokes. Woofy, nothing changes unless the swamp gets drained. Well, it's fair, but I think we have to admit the foreign policy aspect of the swamp is in the air right now. That's kind of how I feel, and that's why I'm moving in heavy. Musically assured destruction. I think the damage is already done, sadly. I would need a little context for that to respond. Don't look at the chat. Give us your honest take. I do that. I don't usually look at the chat. Sometimes I do at the start just to kind of see where people are at on the stories. But it doesn't change the pace. It doesn't change the commentary. Glatten gang, it'll take years for gas prices to drop. They anticipate 2027. They're under $4 a gallon today for the first time in a couple of months. I think maybe since February, under $4 a gallon. So maybe it's going in the right direction now. That's good. The real question is, how long is it going to take to reorient the foreign policy so that it doesn't hurt our country? But yeah, again, it's like, was it if all of this was to expose the foreign loyalists that have hijacked our country, would you say it was worth it? If that was the case, would you say it was worth it? I don't know. It's hard to say. It's hard to say no. It's hard not to say, okay, yeah, that's worth it. Ivan Monroy. A lot of my liberal friends are happy Trump pulled out. Hopefully, the only good that comes of this is the fracturing of the Bibi relationship. I've been saying that for months. Trump could build an even bigger coalition, and Trump could become more popular than ever by getting us the hell out of the Middle East. He will gain popularity on the left. He will gain popularity on the right. He will gain popularity in the middle. It's the one thing he could do that would gain his popularity in all different political spectrums. Except, of course, the Israeli lobby. That's and they're just the loudest. They pretend like they're the majority, but they're the clear minority. I tried to say a certain country, but was censored. Yeah, well, we got to play the games. Don't hold your breath, silly boy. What are you going to do? What are you guys going to do if the war kicks back up on Monday? Are you going to just drag me? That wouldn't be fair, but I'll be here for it. That wouldn't be fair. That wouldn't be fair to me, but I will be here for it. I'll even look forward to it. It'll be good. Ephraim, Trump is a useful idiot for whatever side he chooses to be on for the day. There is no 4D chess plan or bigger picture except stroking his ego. You can't trust a traitor, Owen. He'll flip again. Where are we at in the chat? It seems like it's kind of split. It seems a lot of people agree with that. And it seems other people are like, no, this is good. These developments are good, and they're really happening. What is the split like? Is it about 50-50? Maybe the whole Iran thing was really used to distract from Epstein, and since very few people are talking about the files, it's time to pull out. You know what? I might agree, except we know that they can bring that right back into the fore, and I wouldn't be surprised if Trump getting us out of Iran sparks some new Epstein stuff to drop. Maybe they're out of it. I don't know. We'll see. Didn't you see Mark Levin's subtle nuke threat? We sure did, Mego. We sure did. Not so subtle, even. Cream filling. Israel's got a Metal Gear up their sleeve. You know they got something. Let's just hope it's not on us. Cornelius Westernmost. Wow, another phenomenal show yesterday, Owen. I hit replay as soon as it ended. Listen for a third time this morning at the shop. I'm hopeful, but also totally get the sentiments coming from Big Don. Yeah, it's fair. It's fair. We're back in the shop with Cornelius Westernmost. Thank you for that. We need to. How do we, they'll probably allow you to do, somebody floated this in the chat the other day. We need an Owen Report radio station on Grand Theft Auto 6. Maybe they'll allow you to customize a radio station and you can put the Owen Report on a loop, like take your favorite episodes and put them on a loop. And we need an Owen Report radio station on the new Grand Theft Auto. That'd be great. Jose Navarro, the damage is done and the economy won't heal overnight. Praising Trump now is like applauding the surgeon before the patient leaves the ICU. Hope I'm wrong. Not a bad analogy, but okay, if I accept that analogy is fair, then I would say, but in that case, don't we still cheer for the surgeon to get the surgery right? You know? We love Mego. We sure do. MAGA supporters who stayed loyal and are now seeing their neocon allies turn on him. Do they admit they were wrong or turn against Trump too? Well, the neocons are turning on Trump. And I think the people that really kind of bought into the trust Trump no matter what, I think they're just kind of like, they don't know. They're rattled right now. They're not sure what to do. We showed an example of that earlier. But their life lesson here, their political lesson in here is what we warned them of. These people do not care about America, and they do not care about you. Their support for America and Trump hinges on one thing and one thing only. And now we all see it. And I think they see it too. The real Emperor Palpatine. This is why we always stay slaves to the system. Y'all always steer us back into it. What did I do? What am I steering you back into? No, Palpatine, I'm not buying that one. Not buying that one. Owen smoking the political hopium. This is midterm theater, guy. I'll accept that. That I will accept. That I will accept as fair from endless possibilities. We all agree New MAGA is a cult, but people in our America First movement get mad at you for shifting your opinion. If we can't apply it universally to us as well, then it's not logic, it's propaganda. Well, I think these are two different things. That's why I always emphasize I'm doing political play-by-play here. That's what I'm doing. It's political play-by-play. So you don't get mad at the announcer when he is telling you that the pass just got intercepted for a pick-6 touchdown. It's like, no, that's what happened on the field. You don't yell at the TV like, no, how dare you call that an interception? Well, there was an interception. So that's a little different when I'm doing political play-by-play. I'm not coming on here and telling you guys, oh, Trump is back with us, we won or anything. It's like, that's why, to me, the play-by-play is, hey, Trump is shifting. The play-by-play is, hey, the spirit is shifting. Hey, there's a potential shift in foreign policy here. Hey, here's the deal that was cut. That's just play-by-play. Now, if I came on here and I said, guys, Trump is back, he's with us, we won, then that would be my opinion, and you could say, no, I disagree. But to say that this looks like a clear shift in policy, and certainly in rhetoric, that's just political play-by-play. So it's like, how do you get mad at me for just calling that as I see it? Not to sound screwy, but I don't trust Vance. Well, you don't have to trust anyone in politics, and I wouldn't blame you for trusting none of them. Brandon, how do I call into the show? We put the number up earlier. We're exhausted on calls today, but we'll do it again. Thank you, Ken. In the movie Gladiator, they speak of a snake that allows the enemy to bite it while it lies still, this continuously until the prey gets so complacent, then it finally strikes. We're that. I think I understand what you're saying. We're getting a little wordy there, but I think I get it. Like, hey, the chimp out that could be coming now could be even bigger. Did you, Lion Byron, trying not to debate like basement Biden, JM Dog Patriot? I think you're missing a word here, but yeah, Byron Donalds is refusing to debate James Fishback. I think that's what you're referring to. Sweet Tooth, you should meet the Indian Jesus. He's a cool political America First channel. I've asked him to call into your show a few times. He likes your content. Indian Jesus. I'm assuming you're saying it's a Indian that has long hair and a beard. Or is this somebody that actually thinks he's Jesus? I'll have to look that up. That's interesting. All right, Indian Jesus. Wait a minute. Indian Jesus. Does he do miracles? Bravo, but you know what would have been better? Not starting any of this and aiding and abetting a literal war criminal in the first place. True. Completely agree. But that's why I'm kind of at a loss with the criticisms. It's like I was against this the whole time. So, I mean, it's like, yeah, I never supported it. I still don't like it. It was still bad. But it's like when you're stopping a bad thing, that's a good thing. And I'm hoping it stops permanently. So I get not trusting it being permanent, but it's not like I've changed my opinion on the matter. But again, I ask, whether it was intentional or not, if the result of all of this is reorienting and fixing our disastrous foreign policy, would it be worth it? Would whatever we just had to do in the Middle East, Iran, Israel, all the garbage to get to this point, if this truly is a directional shift in foreign policy so that we don't have a foreign policy dictated by foreign interests, and we don't have a foreign policy that is destructive to our interests and our country, was it worth it to have to go through all of this? Well, I will say, definitely worth it to go through all of this if it benefits us than to go through all of this and more to benefit Israel. Did you see Candace's coverage on Butler? That was nuts how they randomly picked him to be behind Trump. I saw some of that. I don't know. That stuff's a little too touchy for me. It's a little too touchy for me. And that's the kind of thing where if you swing and miss, I haven't seen the whole coverage. I do know what you're talking about. To me, that's the kind of thing where if you swing and miss, you swing and miss so badly, it's like you gotta go to the bench for a while. So I'm just not going to swing at that one. Owen, don't worry. You have better hair than Gavin Newsom. All right. Should I do the Gavin slick back? The real Emperor Palpatine. This Trump is naive, baby fooled all the way up till now. When every podcaster was talking about it, it is insulting and retarded to try and make us think. I'm not exactly sure. Trump is a naive, baby fooled all the way up till now. So does that mean you think he's figured it out now? That's interesting. So you think Trump was just fooled the whole time. Ben Shapiro's uncle stole uranium from his freight company and it ended up in Israel. And yeah, Jonathan Pollard and others, yeah, they're directly involved in spying, infiltration, spying, and theft of our country. I mean, they should be viewed as traitors, honestly, but they own the media and the politics, so you know that's how it works. DHG, I'm praying the peace deal holds. My girlfriend is deployed with the army in the Middle East, so I am really hoping peace happens and we pull out. Levin freaking out is making me feel better, though. It is a relief factor when you see neocons panicking. It is a relief factor, and we pray for peace, too. And hopefully your girlfriend can get home. Pretty sure Barron told his dad, stop hanging around with losers. Come join America First Shroysters. Exposed 305. Barron? You think Barron is having some impact on all of this? Dustin Clanton, I disagree with you, Owen. From the Epstein files, the Adelsons, Trump agreeing to be the first Jewish president and getting the Tree of Life award and so on. Trump is owned for the rest of his life. I think it's theater. God bless. Well, that's certainly how they view it. I mean, I could go deeper into that, but it's, we're already past normal showtime here. But yeah, there's a lot there. So in that regard, let's just pray for Trump's safety then. Pray for Trump's safety, you know? Maybe somebody needs to be watching Trump's neck. Life, Liberty, and Impotence. The Micro Mark Levin Show. I'm here for good old-fashioned Owen Cope stream. Ohio Mitch. Am I coping today? What is the cope? Are you saying that Trump was right and he had this all planned out all along? Is that the argument here? F it, we'll do it live. We did it live. You guys said it was one take. I didn't get to see the final product. So hopefully one of you guys cuts that out and posts it to X. You know, tag us, we'll share it. You guys said it was a one-take job, so I didn't do a second take, so we'll see. Levin looks like toy barn owner from Toy Story. No, the toy barn owner has more masculinity. The toy barn owner actually has some presence. Micro Mark is like he's like a bug. You know, he's like a bug with no presence. Anna X, the right meltdowns are just as funny as the left. Where we go one, we go all. Where are the Q people at on this? I'm not seeing too much, but this is like the ultimate Q moment. This is like the biggest moment of Q proof and actual results that we've ever seen. Like there's always wild theories and like codes and all this weird stuff that it's just like you can't even, there's no results. This is the first time there's actually a result that points to Q. First time. And I'm not hearing anything about them or from them. Fishback mastered the chicken game. Somebody check on Tay-Tay. Okay? Get him out of that chicken suit, guys. He's losing his mind. Parker, don't change your studio. Yours is one of the best of all the commentators. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I do appreciate that. But we do want to expand the show and the operation, and we're going to have to get a bigger studio. But I do appreciate it. I love this studio. This is great. I don't need a big studio. I don't even like a big studio. I like the small radio studio feel. But you know what? It's not all about me, is it? Or maybe it is. X Savage. Support at win.media didn't work. Email was returned to sender. You're not up-dogging me, are you? Am I missing something here, DMT? That is the email, right? I'm 95. I could be wrong. Oh boy, hold on a second, guys. All right. Fishback in the Villages and others tomorrow and Saturday. Sorry, my family is arriving right now. I need to go let them in. We'll get through these super chats. They can wait. Everyone should look into Team Jorge and Tal Hannon. And no, I'm not talking about an Israeli World Cup team. Thanks, Owen, and God bless. Team Jorge and Tal Hannon. Sounds like a song or a band. Dana White L. Where's that from? Whatever happened to ending the Ukraine war day one? Well, that didn't happen. Ukraine and Israel are connected in a big way, and my dad was in special forces. He told me IDF trains the cartels too. I've heard that before. Drew, guaranteed they all had diarrhea. Extra sloppy. Oh, from the from the foreigners eating the slop. Pittsburgh bad. My Winky is a key. Love Austin Powers. That's gold member. No hate, all love, bro. What did you say earlier, Clayton? What was it? Try to find your post. No. You don't. Hey. Disagreeing with me does not equate to hate. I like it. In fact, disagreeing with me equates to respect and love when we can debate amicably. So don't feel like that. I don't mind the disagreements. I even know there's things that I say that my audience doesn't like. It's all right. We're not in a cult here. Being Scottish by blood, I loved seeing all the Scotland fans in the Boston bar singing the Star Spangled Banner with all that hate we usually get from Europeans. That was pretty badass. I'm telling you guys, the response from the world to this World Cup has been very good. I'm very pleased, very proud of our country. You should be very proud, whether you like the sports, the World Cup, the goy slop, whatever, bread and circus. Be proud. Be proud of our country. It's okay to be proud of our country. Even in the dark times, it's okay. Arms looking very nice today. Thanks. They're going to need a massage later. Space Friend, left wing, right wing, two wings on the same bird with a small hat. Do you think you can get Owen Benjamin on again? He's a professional wizard slayer. Love the coverage and have a great night, Owen. Yeah, we can start getting some guests on again. We probably will ratchet that up soon. A-Rod Blends, what's your advice for young men to not adopt identity politics? Been seeing a lot, and I don't know if it's a good thing or not. Advice? I don't even know how you just, I don't know. I just don't do it. I mean, that's the advice. That seems like it's a younger generational issue. So that's why it's hard for me to even, it's hard for me to respond to that because my generation, we just didn't have that problem. It just didn't even exist. It wasn't even like a potential. So I don't know. In brand, if Trump was being blackmailed, what happens now? Guess we're going to find out. And isn't that the great mystery? Isn't that the edge of the seat moment that we're all on right now, waiting, seeing, anticipating, guessing? And really, the only thing we can look at for evidence is the fact that the neocons are freaking out. And the Israelis are freaking out. That's our only evidence of where this thing might go next. So there you go. That's going to do it for today's show. Thanks to everybody for tuning in, folks. Remember to give us a follow on X, Owen Schroyer 1776. Please subscribe on YouTube, the Owen Report on YouTube, rumble.com/Owen, audio archives on iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Spotify. We'll take a 21-hour break. We'll be back tomorrow. Maybe just to take them. If anything, just to take your calls. Maybe cover news. Maybe we'll do that too. All right. We'll see you tomorrow. Godspeed. God bless.